is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Yeah. Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Friday Pablo in the Big O Show.
Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping you glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know.
Culture, probably Pablo, you know, now introducing the man of the hour, Big O, a.k.a. Orlando also Gary. Yeah.
Yeah, we are ready to rock. We are ready to roll. Hello. I know we normally go on like around noon, but we were ready to go. So, you know how it is. It's that's the beauty of, just being in charge and being able to do your thing.
That opening impressive with the draggy-ass weather we got going on, bro. I'm impressed.
Well, maybe the humidity just loosens everything up. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we're able to just explode. The president, Alexa V, is in the house first. There you go. I see Josh in there, Alan D, Julius 305. Julius, again, thank you for the Mike Schmidt, man. It's just amazing. I was checking it out this morning when I was doing a little prep. Let's see. Marta is in the house. Hello, Marta. Man of 1,005 holds. All of you out there chiming in, Ian from Brooklyn, and also we appreciate you chiming in early on the chat board. And if you want to get in on the program, you can always reach out to us on the accidentlawfirm.com text line 786-322-1105. If you want to get in, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in. I see John Rouse is in the house. Everybody chiming in, which is always a beautiful thing. And if you have time, come on by here. We're out here, Pembroke Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. I know it says it here, but just in case.
Other side there, green screen.
Oh,
actor.
it's on this side. Okay, there you go.
There
you
go.
There we go. So it's all out here. So come on out here and have some fun. And remember, you get 20% off if you mention my name. So if you want to come on by and you want to get some CBD, I got some CBD actually about 3 days ago. I want to say I came over. It might have been Saturday. I came by here, and yes, I did. It was Saturday because I went by your house, and then I came here, and then I went to the game on Saturday, which I'll be there at the game again on Saturday for our USL 1 team, which I'm looking forward to. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I was here on Saturday getting some CBD. So I wanted some fresh CBD, and so I came out here. So
the most you've done on a weekend in 4 months, right? On that Saturday?
Yeah, because
considering you're running around.
Yeah. But it's seeing you, it's coming here and then going to the game and all with the mask. See how responsible I am. I'm in here, right, and I'm prepping in my N95 mask, right? My Iron Maiden N95 mask, and then when the show starts, I can't do the show with this one. I have to do it with the thinner one. So I get the thinner one. And today I am sporting the Fix, Reach the Beach, like that, huh? It's actually a pretty cool one. I like this one. Always with the mask, always responsible, okay? Nice to see, by the way, the big guy in the White House do backtracking like a cornerback yesterday on all of the mask stuff already. Took him a while to catch up, but that's all right. Yesterday was depressing. We had 1,119 deaths, and we already have 130 something deaths today in Florida. Okay, all right. It was, 130 some. 1,119 across the country. We had 100 and something. I put out the tweet. I usually put out the tweet, and I added Arizona to it. Because Arizona obviously is exploding like the rest of us, like Texas, Florida, and California. And,
132 yesterday.
Yeah, we're already at 139 today. Okay, we're already 139. California was 120, Texas was 118, and Arizona was number one yesterday at 134. So those four states are the majority of, a little over half of what we're getting in the 1,119.
We did say like 10 days ago when this started going up that the deaths would eventually
catch up
percentage-wise.
And that's exactly what's happening now. So I just it's terrifying that we're probably going to go through another one. So prayers to all the families out there who are losing loved ones. We got a bunch of things to talk about today on the show, which again, and the good thing is now that, the sports are starting now, and I was watching the Marlins yesterday, and it was one of those, like, it was refreshing, right? Because I'm watching bombs from Rojas, Alfaro hits a bomb. Who was Sanchez. Sanchez hit a cannon shot, dude, all right? It was like, all right, cool. But then, the bullpen had to finish it off, and they couldn't finish it off, and the Braves pick up 8 runs. And I'm like, this is not happening. Come on. I know it's early, but come on. Can we hold on to the lead? You know what I mean? Just hang on. And you can't hang on, and they end up losing it, and they have the walk-off homer, and the rest is history. And Adam Conley is one of those guys that he just doesn't convince you at any point. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know, man. It just I'm just glad to have baseball back and get the baseball in a groove, and now we'll get basketball tonight. The Heat will play. Is that game on television? That game is on television, right? It's got to be on Fox, right? I would imagine the Heat game. So I'll be able to watch the Heat game today. I'll watch the little Marlins. We've got, listen, I think I wrote it down here. We've got Yankees, like tomorrow, dude. Yankees and Nationals. And then Giants and Dodgers tomorrow. I am going to be such a happy camper watching. And I don't care about any of the 4 teams. I'm lying a little bit there. I do have a little bit of love for the San Francisco Giants, only because I lived there for a short time. And so I tried to inherit them a little bit and said, all right, Marlins are my team. But you know what? I'll root for I'm living in that town, so. But I didn't really, and it was in the middle of the baseball season when I moved. And it was such a short time that football season never started or anything else. You know what I mean? And so it was only basketball and it was baseball that we were watching while I was, and hockey too, actually. But football never got to it because I had to leave after that. So I do have a little bit of sympathy for the San Francisco Giants, but still it's all Marlins all the way. And I do, and by the way, they are taking on the Dodgers, which I've been to Dodger Stadium now a few times, and that's actually that's heaven. Well, we went once, right, to Dodger Stadium when we went out there, right?
Yes, we were at Chavez.
Yep.
We walked out with the coasters at the end of the game.
What a place! What an awesome place!
I'm trying to think who they were playing.
I know that when we saw the Padres, it was the Mets because the dude with the long hair was pitching. And he had he had like 11 strikeouts.
A short guard, something. What's his name? Guard.
Syndergaard.
Yes,
Syndergaard. Syndergaard was pitching. You know what? I don't remember How come I remember who the Padres I remember because the Mets had the better pitcher on the mound. That's what makes me remember. Whereas in the Dodgers, we were just worried about the Dodgers and being at Dodger Stadium and Chavez Ravine. Ravine and walking around. Let me tell you something. If you ever go to Chavez Ravine, okay, you got to walk around the entire stadium and look everywhere for, the different angles. But I want you, because Dodger Stadium is inside a valley, and then it's surrounded by mountains, okay? And the view is spectacular, okay? It's breathtaking. But you have to go to the top of the stadium. It is a must that you go to the top of the stadium. I remember, wasn't Kendrick Lamar doing the open of the Dodger game? I remember that.
Yes.
I want to say Kendrick Lamar was doing an open at Dodger Stadium. And so you got to go to the top because the view is epic. Epic, okay?
The thing I remember was pulling up, making a left, like going up, and you make a left, and then you're looking down into the valley, and and it's like, my God, you'd build hotels and apartment complexes with the view around here, not a baseball stadium.
Right.
This is amazing.
But in the 50s, you're thinking different. You know what I mean? So, it's one of those deals. So that's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. And then we've got next week on August 1st on a Saturday. Do you realize that on next Saturday, okay, not this Saturday, next Saturday will be August 1st. Do you realize that at what's it called? At 1 o'clock, you will watch the Heat and the Nuggets, and at 4, it's Panthers and Islanders. Back to back.
I would like to thank them for scheduling and assisting
us.
That's
pretty
fans.
cool.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. Saturday that we get the back-to-back games to get our favorite team. Well, at least those of us that are, the hometown fans. We get those back-to-back games. So that's the good thing, that now the show starts to take a turn. And I know we're probably going to still have to talk about COVID every once in a while, and I know it's going to affect probably baseball and probably football in a big-time way. Basketball and hockey are going to be safe. The MLS, I think, is in danger once they get out of the bubble, too. It's just going to be hard. So I know we'll do that. I'm just hoping we can kind of pull away from all the other crap and everything else going on that just drives people crazy and divides them all over. But it is what it is. But at least we got sports, And when I'm sitting there watching the Marlins, I was so happy that I was watching baseball. It sucked that they lost. It sucked that their bullpen was just absolutely terrible. But I got to admit, I enjoyed it. I was having some fun with it. You know what I mean?
They were up 9-1, correct?
8-1.
8-1.
Yeah,
okay.
8-1.
Okay.
Yeah, 8-1. And so, I know, man. It sucked. It sucked. What are you gonna do? So, it is what it is. Let's first go over a couple of super chats. First of all, thank you to Robert Triana with a little hump day action on Super Chat. Thank you, Robert. And SM Fins also chimes in on the Super Chat. He says, this is for having to deal with the clowns on Facebook yesterday. Block them all. Steve in Pensacola. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you, my man. It's all good. It's all good. Listen, he's talking about, because he follows also on social media, because it's one of those things that if you give a political opinion, right, and if the political opinion is Republican, then you'll get a Democrat to tell you, hey, keep your opinions to yourself and stick to sports, and so, again, you guys that watch every day, you kind of know me already, that I don't really lean either way. I'm telling you, I may not be a Trump guy, but I'm already telling you we're screwed with Biden. I mean, it's just, I'm brutally honest on it. Right, but some people don't, and so if I take a shot at Trump, they think I'm a Democrat, which I'm not. And so it's funny because I had a guy that stick to sports, and I blocked him, right? Because you want to call me a nutbag, you want to say I'm crazy, I'm an idiot, I'm a moron. I agree, I disagree with you, I love you, I hate you. Fine, we're good. Don't tell me stick to sports, okay? Because I got plenty of opinions, and it's America, and if I want to share them, I share them. If you don't want to listen to them, I'm not putting a gun in anybody's head saying, hey, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, okay, or I'll shoot you. No, I'm not doing any of that. You chose follow by your choice. You know what I mean? So don't complain about my opinion on whatever. You know what I mean? Because some of those guys that I was taking a shot at, at Trump, I was like, dude, if you want me to tell you that because they were taking a shot at Clinton for Trump, because that's what they do. You know what I mean? And I was like, look, dude, I don't care about Clinton. Clinton's just as bad as Trump. They're both scum. I don't care about either guy. You know what I mean? Because yesterday, Trump wished well to Giselle Maxwell? What is her name? Ghislaine Maxwell. They asked him about her, and he goes, oh, I wish her well. So I was like, what the hell what do you mean you wish her well, dude? This is a woman that participated in the rape of young girls or she set it up for young girls to get raped. What do you mean you wish her well, dude? And then you get the people that want to, defend Trump and say, well, what do you want him to say? And what I want him to say is, I don't want to talk about her. I don't care about her. Get rid of her. So it's just, he should have dissed her. I wish her well. Come on, man. Dude, let's go. You called NFL players sons of bitches for kneeling. In Charlottesville, you said there's some very fine people on both sides. Very fine people, quote, unquote. Whoa. Come on. You know what I'm saying? So, so they got all bent out of shape, and it's like, I'm sorry. Something tells me Ghislaine Maxwell is not the person you want to wish well, dude, in any way, shape, or form. You cannot say that, but it is twisted. It's a twisted world. What can I tell you? So, yes. So that's what Stephen Pensacola was talking about. And I actually didn't say this that I just told you guys on the show. I didn't even put that out yet, which, I was just thinking about that now. It's like, no, that's not good. But whatever. It is what it is. Omar Lopez says, working in Kendall today, getting pumped for the Heat. I'm with you, man. Pat Nashville, we are screwed, just not as screwed with Biden. Only because Biden is not nearly as evil, that's all. He's going to be incompetent. He's going to screw everything up. Like what the trade deficit and the stuff with China, Biden will screw that up because actually Trump did something good there. You know what I mean? But again, it's just whatever, man. It is what it is. And you can't have somebody at the top that's that divisive. That's the problem. That's the real problem out of it all. If he wasn't so divisive and if he wasn't defending the Charlottesville thing, or if he wasn't, you know what I mean? It's just so obvious, the things that he does, and that I don't know if you guys know this. I'll give you a story. You know who Woody Johnson is? The owner of the Jets? Okay. Well, he also serves as Donald Trump's ambassador to the United Kingdom. Well, guess what? He's now being investigated by the State Department watchdogs for allegations that he made racist and sexist comments to the staff and sought to use his government position to benefit the president's personal business in the UK. The top envoy there since 2017 to the United States' most important allies made racist and generalizations about black men and questioned why the black community celebrates Black History Month, according to exclusive new information shared by 3 sources and a diplomat familiar with the complaints to the State Department. His comments about women's looks have been cringeworthy, a source of knowledge of the situation said. And 2 sources said it was a struggle to get him on board for an event for International Women's Day. He said some pretty sexist, racist things. The diplomat with knowledge of the complaints made to IG said of Johnson and heir to Johnson & Johnson's fortune. Asked about the specific allegations, Johnson did not deny them. He called it an honor of a lifetime to serve as an ambassador and to lead the talented, diverse team of the U.S. mission to the United Kingdom. Called the team the best in diplomacy and added, I greatly value the extraordinary work that each and every member of the team does to strengthen and deepen our vital alliance. But yet he doesn't deny the allegations. Wow. So, it's things you say, people you associate. This guy, sexist, racist comments, right? And the guy, he just got out of jail. Oh, I don't want to argue with that Negro. Okay, I don't know if you guys follow enough about all of this, but, whatever. Anyway, so just want to throw it out there, So, yes, it's wow, whatever. Anyway, let's turn to sports and not talk about this loser all the time.
NBA.com says it will be on Fox Sports Sun.
Okay, that's what I figured. It would be on Fox Sports. It would make a lot of sense. NFL, they are so far now, they are testing, and they have tested positive 95 players so far since they started testing. They added 59 yesterday to that total of 95. It says the league is expecting hundreds more now of positive tests. And not that we're going to be surprised with it. What is going to, I think what's going to be interesting, I don't know if interesting is the right adjective to say. What's going to be educational for us about all of this is there's a lot of us that we're hearing about this virus. Some of us have had it. Most of us haven't. We don't know exactly how it affects one or the other. You hear about the antibodies and how long they last. They say it might be 2 to 3 months, and then you can get it right again after that. With NFL players now being in such close circles in practice, I know meeting rooms, they're going to try to space things out, but as long as you're practicing and playing games in such small areas and there's collisions and there's breathing and sweat and everything, it is going to be a way that we're all going to find out more about this virus. The sad part is football players are going to be our guinea pigs because we're really going to find out how we know it's contagious. I mean, hell, look what's going on, right? That people get together in places, and I told you the story 2 weeks ago, that one woman that got 70 people, infected. It's nuts that something like that. One person, 70, that's not the kind of ratio you want for this kind of thing, right? And so now we're going to watch them try to stave off this virus, try to be as safe as possible in the most unsafe sport possible. You know what I'm saying? And so then this is where it becomes a real problem for the NFL. And we're going to learn a lot about this because we're watching that. Remember, we didn't know it was an airborne virus the first couple of months. And then we found out it's an airborne virus. Then they told us that it could lie on surfaces and all kinds of surfaces for a while. And then they figured out, no, there's only a couple of surfaces that it really will last for a while. I think stainless steel is one. There's another one maybe. I forgot which one it was. But there's only a couple of surfaces. Everywhere else, it'll die out. People are worried that if it's on your mail, if somebody gives you an Amazon box and they have it, would you get it and you don't and all that. So we have learned different things about this virus. The next thing now is we're going to find out how contagious this is. Not that I'm wishing it upon NFL players, but my Lord, look at the game they're playing. You know what I mean? And this is going to be, I'm terrified of it, to be honest with you, because I'm terrified that it's going to ruin the season. You know what I mean? That eventually it will spread and it will affect. Look, you saw what happened in the MLS. And they don't have nearly the contact that football has. Now soccer does have contact. Okay, because I always laugh when people say, well, it's not a physical sport. Yeah, really, dude? You need to watch it a little bit more. You need to watch the collisions with no pads whatsoever a little bit more out there, okay? And so while there is contact, right, football's going to be 100 times worse, okay? And that's where it becomes an experiment for all of us. And we may end up seeing firsthand how, you see what's going on, but we might find out how deadly contagious this thing is. And I don't mean by deadly that it's going to literally kill people, but how deadly it is, like it'll spread to so many people in a short amount of time. And in football, I don't know how. Man, listen, I've been walking into locker rooms for years, and the musty smell that is permanently in a locker room, I can't imagine a whole bunch of sweaty dudes walking in there and a couple that have COVID and they're breathing heavy and everything out there. I can't imagine how that doesn't fester in the locker room. And I would imagine that they have taken some precautions, and I'm sure they're going to spread out locker rooms as much as possible and use other rooms for guys and all that stuff. So I'm sure they're going to do things that they're going to try to keep people as safe as possible. I just find it really hard when it comes to this sport. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. That if it's
you think about it, you huddle up when you go to the line of scrimmage. The defensive lineman is right across from the and the offensive lineman. You don't have 6 feet between the center to the guard to the tackle.
Barely have 6 inches.
Exactly. The quarterback's right up under the center. I mean, it's impossible. And plus, when you make a tackle, coverage, you want to be close to the receiver. Everything is about staying in close proximity.
Yeah. So maybe the NFL should say, hey, we can only do zone coverage this year. No man on man. Anyway. Good morning, from Victor Vitoni. Says, I'd trade preseason to keep camps. Been saying 2 preseason games is enough for years. If we have no preseason, it will prove us right. Bubble up and do what we can to be safe. I mean, Victor, it sounds all well and good, but they're still negotiating right now how long camp is going to be, because now they've already negotiated out preseason. There is going to be no preseason. The owners have given in, but now let's call this like we see it, okay? Because that's what we do on this show. The only reason the owners gave up the preseason is because they're greedy and they want the regular season. And they knew that they could not get regular season if they don't give up the preseason. And if they stick with the preseason along with camp, then you have now increased the chances of COVID spreading. But once they get into the regular season, they can force coaches to adjust, use your practice squad when you lose guys. The question is, what happens when Pat Mahomes gets it or Russell Wilson? Right? How do you recover from that? How in the world do you recover from that? And think about this. What happens if Fitz gets it and you got to do you rush Tua in, or do you play Josh Rosen now? I would imagine that you play Josh Rosen just because Tua has not played all offseason, doesn't know the offense, isn't comfortable with everybody. Josh Rosen's also learning the offense, but he's been in the league and he's played with these guys already more than Tua has. So he will have more of a connection possibly with these guys. Plus, he's more experienced, and because everybody's learning, including the line, you can sacrifice Rosen, but you can't sacrifice Fitz. But what happens? You're all in the quarterback room, and the quarterbacks all get it. And you have no quarterback then. What do you do then? How do you recover from that? You know what I'm saying? And I doubt they're going to be able to hide a positive because they are going to test every day, at least during camp. So they'll find out about it. You know what I mean? And I would imagine that they're going to have, I know that they were saying that you get the results the next day. You should have the one that's immediate there. I mean, you are the NFL. You got enough money. You should be able to do it. But that's the problem that we're facing is what's going to happen when this thing tears up an offensive line, tears up a D line, your secondary, because they're all groups. They all study in groups. They all practice in groups all throughout the week. One guy goes out to party, bangs some babe, gets COVID, comes back the next day. He's got it. He's asymptomatic. He doesn't feel it. He gets a test. You're not getting the result till the next day. And then at the same time, you're passing it on to everybody else in that room. You're practicing. You're passing it to people. You're passing it to your coaches. Those are the people you got to really worry about, man. Most of these players are going to survive because they're young, they're super healthy. All of that. The coaches are all old, man. They're all old. That's where this risk is absolutely enormous for this team. I mean, for this league. And that's why the basketball season, you feel so good about it because they controlled the environment. And hockey, they controlled the environment. The MLS, once they got everybody tested and then in the bubble, they have controlled the environment. All three leagues have thousands of tests and only 2 positives, and they were both in hockey. And that's because hockey's the last one out of the 3 that's been putting people in the bubble because they had 2 bubbles, remember. So they were the last ones that were entering the bubble, so they had to filter all that stuff out. And that's it. Outside of that, there's no more positives. Why? Because you control the environment. How do you control the environment now in football? These guys are going home to see their wives and kids, and then they're going to see their friends. They're going to see other family members. You don't know where all of them have been. And I know that there's going to be some households that they're going to be responsible, like, hey, let's not smother daddy. He's got to play. We may have something. We don't know. So there are going to be some households that are going to be kind of smart, right? Because he's the big breadwinner, and so they're going to protect. But then there's going to be the other places that these guys think they're invincible, and they're single, and they're out, and they're partying, and somebody's going to get it, man. Because it's a mission for all of us to avoid it every single day. Whether it's drive-through, somebody dropping off the food at your house, whatever it is, you never know where the exchange could happen. That's why you always got to mask up. That's why you always got to keep your distance. Give yourself at least an opportunity to stay away from it. But if you pack the pools in the Ozarks and you go protesting without a damn mask, or you go, support Trump without a mask, then you put yourself and everybody else at risk. That's why football, the second you start this thing, everybody's at risk because there's no control of the environment.
Even with the players in a bubble, because of the intimacy, the closeness that you are to the other players so much, it's still going to be tough.
Yeah.
So without a bubble, man, this really has no shot.
Right.
Right?
I have – that's why high school, there's no way you play high school in Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach County now. You're opening yourself up to lawsuits. The teachers are already suing the governor. There's no way you do it. College, also, you're not paying these kids. You cannot put them at risk and put the coaches at risk. So, and you're putting your student body at risk too. So I think a lot of these colleges aren't even going to bring their student body in. They're going to go virtual, which is the smart thing to do. That's what I'm hoping. I think every teacher should be pissed off about all of this. No teacher should be teaching right now in this kind of environment. Every teacher, administrator, janitor, cafeteria person, you name it, anybody that's involved with the school, they're all in complete danger because there's nothing worse than kids. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean it in a transferring virus way because kids just have no respect for that. They're drinking from each other's stuff. Girls are using each other's makeup. Guys and girls are kissing all over the place. They hang out with each other. They're smoking. They're doing whatever. And that's kids because at that age, you were that age. I was that age. We're freaking invincible. But the old people around you, the teachers, the administrators, they're not invincible, man. So that's where this whole thing becomes an absolute mission, All right, 786-322-1105. Remember, we're out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by and say hi. We'll be out here till about 3 o'clock, and we'll have some fun. We'll take your texts at 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. You can also reach out to us on email, orlando@bigoradioshow.com. Twitter, Big O Show. Let's take a quick break. Back with more right here on VSSWestPines.com.
It's a virus. Buyers Market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
It is an amazing thing. It's almost like a mini job interview that was going on. All right, anyway, so looks like maybe somebody added to the family. So welcome back. We appreciate you all tuning in. As always, sorry if The break was a little longer than it normally is here on the show, but always appreciate you guys hanging in there. If you want to get in, you can always reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show, on the accidentlawfirm.com text line 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in there on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Let me see what we got here. I don't think there's going to be football as much as I want it to happen. If they want the season to happen, they need to find a bubble and keep everybody safe. Well, Josh, what we've been saying on this show, it's 32 bubbles. That's the way you got to do it. There's no such thing as a bubble for 32 teams with 70 players on it, including practice squads, and you're going to be able to have that many fields to take care of that many teams. You know what I mean? But if every team created their own bubble in their own city, where all they did was play at the stadium, practice at the team facility, and go to the team hotel. That's it, that triangle. And they didn't do anything else. And they were bussed and everything constantly there and back, right? They can have visits from loved ones, maybe with some kind of protocol where they get tested and all that stuff. And then, they can maybe it's a protocol of they wait a 24-hour period of getting tested or 48, and then they visit for a day and then they're out or something. I don't know. Maybe you don't have people visit you at all for a couple months until you're halfway through the season or something like that. But I think what you got to do, it would be 32 bubbles. That would be the only way to do it, where everybody involved in the bubble is tested, from the bus driver to the obviously everybody that works with the players, from equipment guys to trainers, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only way. Outside of that, I don't. There's no such thing as a bubble for football. It's impossible. It just is impossible. I will say this. I saw the courts that they're doing for the NBA, and they look good, man. They did a nice job how they dressed it up with all the screens around it, all the LED screens. I thought it was really cool. But yeah, football is going to be really, really tough for it to happen. DFS Hobby says 50 days until NFL kickoff, still enough time. Why so much desperation? Well, no, they're negotiating now. Okay, so now they're trying to figure out the protocols and everything else and safety and all that. That's what they're trying to do right now. So listen, months ago they kept thinking they had time. 50 days is nothing. Think about this. When this all started was 4 months ago. It's now been, again, 4 months that we've been into this crap. And I got to tell you, in our first month, as the person that has to prepare and find material to talk about every single day, I was wondering to myself, what the hell am I going to be talking about in month 2 and in month 3? And if this thing continues, and we're 4 months in, and somehow or another we've been able to come up with stuff to talk about, which is, and you're amazed, right? And when this thing started, you're like, oh my Lord, how bad is this going to be? Well, we're 4 months in already, and we're not anywhere near out of the we're not in the clear, as they say. We're deeper in the hole now. So but again, the 4 months have gone by pretty quickly overall. Maybe, what, I shouldn't say that. Because maybe for some people it's been a long 4 months because maybe they've had some issues career-wise. So that would be, I would have to say it's gone quickly because Bill and I are fortunate that we work every day. So it's kind of kept us busy. But, this has already been 4 months. It's a long time that we've been dealing with this. The sad part is that we have mishandled this so much as a country that now we're going to be in this mess for a lot longer. And a lot of the things that we normally used to enjoy, we're not going to be able to enjoy. And that's what I'm afraid of, that with football, we're not going to be able to enjoy it. Matthew Walker says, Dolphins agree to terms with rookie Robert Hunt. The Dolphins are officially done negotiating with the 2020 class. Yep. See, here's the thing, Matthew. That's not news. It's not news. Draft pick signing are not news. They're all going to sign. It's news when they don't sign. You know, they're already slotted. There's not really a much negotiating going on, especially on the money side. Might be a thing or two, language, a tweak here or there, but it's the agent is almost useless for the rookie contracts. The agent is needed for that second contract. The first one, there's not that much of an advantage having an agent because the contracts are pretty close to equal overall. There's not that much of a difference. You know what I mean? So to me, when people say, oh, the draft pick sign, it's like, yeah, dude, this isn't 20 years ago. Okay? 20 years ago, that was a mission, the signing bonuses, the negotiations, the loopholes, all that stuff. But that was all thrown out the window once the new collective bargaining agreement came on, and they had all the rookies slotted. And so it's like I don't even care about that anymore. The only time I care about it is if, okay, well, we got a crazy agent and player that don't want to go with the rules, and they want to try to break up the system, and they want more, and that would be the weird thing. And then it becomes news. Robert Hunt signing or Noah the other day, it's boring. I yawn. I find it to be a waste of space in the newspaper, on your computer, anywhere, or even a waste of time even talking about it. I find it to be a joke, to be honest with you, because what the hell else are the rookies going to do? Your money's already made out for you, dude. Sign the damn thing and move on. You're working for your next contract is what it is. I just hope we get a relatively safe season this year. I miss football as much as anyone, but is it worth it? If it's very contagious, what do you think, Big O? My brother, it's not what I think. Michael, it's not what you think. The owners are greedy as hell. Players need their money, so they're going to take their chances and they're going to risk it. You know? While most people were in their homes, Bill and I were in our homes most of the time, but throughout the pandemic, we did shows at Hialeah Park until they closed, and then they reopened for 3 weeks, and we went back, and then they closed again. But we've been here at VSS West Pines all throughout the pandemic. We've been at Toyota of Hollywood all throughout the pandemic. We've been at Craig's Inn Acura all throughout the pandemic. So we've been going out. You know what I mean? And so why do we go out? Because we need the money. We got to work. We all got to survive. And a lot of those football players have to survive, so they're willing to take that chance. Because not everybody's making a Pat Mahomes contract or Russell Wilson. There's a bunch of guys that are making the minimum, and those guys need the money in a bad way, so they're willing to take the chance. And they're taking a much bigger no, they're making more money, but they are taking a much bigger chance than Bill and I, because even when we do stuff, we're pretty responsible. We keep our distance, you know. I was just talking to somebody here, and we had we did a little elbow, but that's about it, you know. And we did the distance thing while we were talking, mask on the entire time, because that's the only way. But it's, Michael, this is contagious as hell, as you can see, because it's spreading like wildfire, and we just got to hope for the best. But it's hard to imagine that football isn't going to be severely disrupted by this. You know, if we would have been smart months ago, after the quarantine, and we would have kept our masks on, and we would have done the smart thing, and we'd have kept our distance, maybe we would have held down all of this. But once we started to pack pools in the Ozarks and load the Grove up, or South Beach or whatever, then we were screwed. You know what I mean? But what are you going to do, man? I love football, and I want football, but it's the worst sport to try to play right now. You know? 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. As you all know, that's a 24-hour talk show that we've got always going on. Did you guys see what's going on with Kanye West? So Kanye West, remember I read to you last week that Kim K and the family, there was a report that they're worried that Kanye West is going off the deep end a little bit and that, he's got bipolar and all of that. So Kanye West went on a bunch of tweets that were deleted. But as you all know, once you hit send, somebody's going to record, somebody's going to take a screenshot of your tweets. So before he was able to erase them, Kanye West put out a whole bunch of stuff against his own family, okay? He said, Chris and Kim put out a statement without my approval. That's not what a wife should do. And then he put white supremacy. He goes, Meek is my man and was respectful. That's my dog. Kim was out of line. I'm worth $5 billion and more than that through Christ. But y'all listen to MJ, and now y'all believe them. And then he also put, they tried to fly in with 2 doctors to 5150 me. I've been trying to get divorced since Kim met with Meek at the Waldorf for prison reform. I got 200 more to go. This is my lady tweet of the night, Chris Young-un. He's calling the mother Chris Young-un. Little Baby, my favorite rapper, but won't do a song with me. I mean, it's just like this. It's like a crazy train of thought that he put out there. He put out a screenshot of a text message he sent to Kris Kardashian. This you ready to talk now, or you still avoiding my calls? You want to talk, or you want to go to war? Okay. And Kanye put all of this stuff out there. Kim was trying to fly to Wyoming with the doctor to lock me up like a movie and get out because I cried about saving my daughter's life yesterday. And then he goes, we can handle this like gentlemen. MJ told you about Tommy before they killed him. Kim saved my daughter in the name of Jesus. It's God's only. I live for my children. I'm in Cody. If you're not planning anyone, I'm in Cody. If you're not planning any one of your children's Playboy shoots. So this is to Kris Kardashian. It's one crazy train of thought after another. In Jesus' name, no more crap. Larsa, come and get me. Oh, here's the whole thing. MJ told you about Tommy before they killed him. Kim saved my daughter's life in the name of Jesus. It's God's choice only. I will live for my children. Chris, I'm in Cody. If you're not planning another one of your children's Playboy shoots. And then he tweets out white supremacy at its highest. No cap. I mean, it's just one after another that he tweeted out there. And so he is obviously, telling us that Kim Kardashian cheated with Meek Mill. Telling that Kim Kardashian wants to put him in a hospital, that he's been wanting to divorce Kim Kardashian. Now, everybody does divorce Kim Kardashian, so maybe he's not that crazy. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay? No matter how that ginormous ass looks, everybody parts ways with it. Okay? Nobody's. And maybe that's even. Can you imagine this? You know how bad of a look this is for Kim K? If Kanye really wants to leave, even a guy that is not sane can't stay with her. Right? And there's so many of you out there that you salivate for her. You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing. That woman can't keep a man no matter what. So, there's a follow-up to all of this, okay? Kim Kardashian now has addressed it. Now, I'm going to read you the letter that she wrote out in her full statement. And then we'll talk a little bit about this. She goes, as many of you know, Kanye has bipolar disorder. Anyone who has this and has a loved one in their life who does knows how complicated and painful it is to understand. I've never spoken publicly in how this has affected us at home because I'm very protective of our children. Yeah, no, but that's, but you're taking so many nude pictures all the time. You're protective of your children. Okay, anyway. Kanye's right to privacy and when it comes to his health. But today, I feel like I should comment on it because of the stigma and misconceptions about mental health. Or maybe the fact that she wants to kind of cover her big ass. Whatever. Anyway, those that understand mental illness or even compulsive behavior know that the family is powerless unless the member is a minor. People who are unaware or far removed from this experience can be judgmental and not understand that the individual themselves have to engage in the process of getting help no matter how hard the family and friends try. So what she's trying to tell you is Kanye's on his own. We're trying, but it's out of our hands. Whatever he's doing, it has nothing to do with us. This is one of these letters that is like carefully crafted BS to kind of separate themselves from the craziness. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I understand Kanye is subject to criticism because he is a public figure and his actions at times can cause strong opinions and emotion. He is a brilliant but complicated person who, on top of the pressures of being an artist and a black man who experienced the painful loss of other that has to deal with the pressure and isolation that is heightened by his bipolar disorder. Those that are close with Kanye know his heart and understand his words sometimes do not align with his intentions. Living with bipolar disorder does not diminish or invalidate his dreams and his creative ideas, no matter how big or unobtainable they may be to some. This is part of his genius. As we have all witnessed, many of his big dreams have come true. We as a society talk about giving grace to the issue of mental illness and mental health as a whole. However, we should also give it to the individuals who are living with it in times when they need it most. I kindly ask the media and the public to give us compassion and empathy that is needed so that we can get through this. Thank you for those who have expressed concern for Kanye's well-being and for your understanding. Look, for me, Kanye West has obviously got issues. There's no doubt about that. But is the Kardashian household the place for this? I mean, if you're bipolar, is that the family you want to be with? The one that's on television all the time? The one that's putting out their entire life out there, fake or real? This one's real. I'm just saying, it's to me, that Kardashian family is just like a toxic thing. It's another example of why our country has gone to absolute crap. These are all women that have no talent and no skill whatsoever except nudity. Okay? That's it. They sell their sex. There's no gift there. Kim Kardashian does not have a talent. She has a talent to steal money from idiots that watch her shows, from morons that buy her products. Right? And her sister also had a talk show that lasted like a week. Why? Because she doesn't have a talent either. Except, what, marrying a different basketball player every month? I mean, come on, man. It's just, the other one's having babies with Scott Disick. And then Disick's dissing her and leaving because he wants to go party. It's just it is a mess, dude. And if you have bipolar like Kanye, and she's right. Look, there's one thing I can't argue. When they're adults that have bipolar, man, you're helpless. You can't do anything about it. Okay? Because it's like if you have a kid that becomes that and the kid is 20, 25, 30, you want to help, but if the kid doesn't want any help, or if Kanye doesn't want to, you can't do anything about it. You are helpless. Under 18, that's where you got some control still. But once they get past 18, man, and they're 19, they're 20, they're 25, you're done. You're done. They have to try to make their own decisions. The only thing is, I look at that situation and I say, how is that environment any good for Kanye? I don't know. It's crazy stuff.
Look, you know my past. Mm-hmm. I had 3 bipolar girlfriends. I can tell you this. That environment does nothing but add to his fire.
Yeah.
There's no way in any way that does not contribute.
Yeah. No, he's obviously the man has all kinds of serious issues, but I can't see being part of that Kardashian clan as the answer. Ian from Brooklyn says Kanye's certifiable. There we go. Period. And you're right, sir. You are right, Ian. Never understand why people like Kanye for anything other than his music. Yeah, I've never liked him at all, period. Even because there's too many incidents where he's acted like a complete jerk. From now on, Twitter needs to have, are you sure you want to post this option 3 times before anyone posts anything?
You're about to go off the edge of the cliff. We're going to give you some extra feet. Do you really want to do this?
Yeah, Super Boom Shack says that dummy was talking smack about Harriet Tubman. I know. It was crazy. Oh, she didn't really free slaves. It's like, dude, come on, bro. What are you saying? It's like, come on. Alex says Kim is the ultimate hit it and quit it, and come on, everybody knows that. Right. That's it. The only guy in Kim's world that got it was Ray J. Ray J hit it and got out. But now he made her, he helped make her, because obviously the video is what made her. You know? Ian says, she's a skank. Alex says, why? Yet we wonder why the COVID-19 pandemic is so bad in America. Look at the morons that care about the family of idiots. Yeah, it is amazing to me how people waste their time watching that crap. At all. Oh, good to see you again here. I missed you and Bill while I was at my Playboy shoot. There you go. Dougie Fresh is back in the house. Love it. Love it. You weren't listening yesterday, Dougie. We were giving you guys love for the Rush lunchbox that Doug and Victoria provided for us, because you guys are adding to the growing list of things in our studio now. That Ray Grulong added something, Julius 305 added something, and obviously Dougie and Victoria added that initially. So thank you all out there again. It was so cool, man. So cool, man. So cool. So appreciate all of you out there, as always, supporting the heck out of this show, however it is that you do it, man. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there. Did you guys see where Natalie Portman, Serena Williams, they are trying to launch a women's soccer team in Los Angeles? And so this is the story. It says, Portman, Serena Williams, and Eva Longoria Moore, the group it's calling itself Angel City, and they're working on the National Women's Soccer League to establish the city's first pro team. The NWSL is the women's version of the MLS, but they only have 9 teams throughout the country, like Portland, Orlando, Tacoma, etc. But the Angel City group claims there's a heavy fan demand in Los Angeles, and they're rallying together to get a team. Their stat. The lead investors are Portman, technology mogul Karen Nortman, gaming entrepreneur Julie Ehrman, and Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian. Ohanian, by the way, is married to Serena Williams. Jessica Chastain, America Ferrara, Eva Longoria, Jennifer Gardner are also on board. So is Abby Wambach, Julie Foudy, Mia Hamm, and Shannon Box. Now, I got to tell you something about this, okay? As a guy that covered the Miami Soul, as a guy that went to Boca several times when we had our other women's league, okay, and there was nobody there. I went to a couple of games. I think 3 games, or 2 games. 2 games. I went to 2 games up there. And it was I think we had like maybe a season. I don't know if, I'm trying to remember if they completed the season or not. I think they did, and then they were going to start the second season, and they couldn't. I forgot how it ended. But it was short-lived. And the WNBA doesn't make a lot of money either. In fact, it's a loser. And again, listen to me, okay, because I don't want this to sound sexist or chauvinistic in any way, shape, or form. I covered the Soul. Okay, I did it by choice. The station QAM, when I was working at QAM, they didn't ask me to go cover the Soul. They didn't tell me, hey, we need sound from the Soul. I went for myself because I'm a sports fan, okay? And I like women's basketball. I enjoy watching women's basketball. I love women's soccer, okay? The women's national team, I don't miss a game. I love watching the women's team play. They play better than our guys, all right? So let me just, I'm going to say all of that now, okay? Women's sports, it has become a waste of money. And it sucks. I'm telling you. And I don't mean it sucks like that they suck. The situation sucks. And I'm going to take off my mask for 1 second so you can see my face and my mouth on this one. I challenge women all over the world. I'm sorry, all over the United States. It's your fault. It's your fault that your own sex fails miserably in all their sports. Do you know that you can get a woman to go to a football game more than go to a women's soccer game? You could get women to go to a NBA game over a WNBA game. Women will go see tennis, but they won't go see the WNBA. They won't go see women's soccer leagues. The national team, it gets all jingoistic, so we all go. And we all celebrate. And since we're so damn good in women's soccer, we really celebrate it. But the real failure in women's sports is you, women. That's right. Because we can get you to go to the other sports, male-driven, but, man, it is twisting an arm to get a woman to go see a women's professional soccer league or basketball. It's amazing. And without women being and it's nice that Serena and all of them want to put the investment and all that, but their investment will go to crap because people don't go. And on the male side, we all know it's the chauvinistic thing. Most guys can't watch women's sports. They can't stand it. I think now, women's tennis for sure they watch. And I think the MMA now is one that's kind of crossed over that guys will watch. But they're not going to watch WNBA. I'm one of the, crazy nutbags that will watch the NBA. I'm one of the crazy nutbags that would drive up to Boca to go see a women's soccer league game and support them. You know what I mean? So it to me, that's been the problem with women's pro sports, mainly is that women have failed to support it the way they should. And they've got it. There's no way it ever gets to the point that they can make serious money. I mean, the women leave the NBA because they make way more money overseas in basketball leagues in Europe than they do in the WNBA. Why? Because the WNBA is a loser. The WNBA only survives because NBA teams fund it. They don't have enough money to really pay the players and everything else. If they didn't have the NBA, the league would have folded years ago. That's why the Miami Soul folded, because it was such a loser that Mickey Harrison, he's a businessman. He's like, no, dude, no, I'm not going to carry the women's basketball just to carry it and do a favor to the women. No, and so people get rid of the basketball teams. And I'm telling you, the main failure are women more than anything else. It's amazing, dude. They will go to more male-driven sports than a female sport at all. They will, and there's no way that the female sport ever gets better if you don't give them the support, because then if you give them the support, then the league becomes something that matters, and then younger girls then start to look at it and say, okay, now I have a future there, I can go. But if you don't have a future, there's no way of look what Major League Soccer is doing now. They're not at Europe money, but man, you can make some really good money now in the MLS. So now if you're a young kid, you don't have to play football or basketball or baseball in order to survive. You can actually play MLS and make a really good living. Right? And hell, if you're really good, you end up in Chelsea. And then you're kicking ass. And you're one of the better players, which, it's pretty nice to see Pulisic do that stuff. Alex Diaz, I have to twist my wife's arm in order to go to Dolphin games with me, and we have season tickets. Yeah. Yeah, try to get her a WNBA game. She'll probably slap you. Super Boom Shack says, Dougie, me, and Julius 305 had a pickup in Hialeah. All right. Alex Toledo says, I just cannot watch WNBA. I love basketball, but I can't. Alex, bro, you don't have to explain. You don't have to apologize. Most men are like that, bro. That's just a normal thing for men. You know why? Because the level of basketball play from women and men is a huge difference. But, Alex, I bet you can watch women's soccer. I bet that. You know why? Because you watch the skill level of the women and the way they play the game. They play it better than the men. It's weird, isn't it? Like, you see the drop-off from men to women in basketball, the explosiveness, the athletes, all of that stuff. There's no comparison. None.
Boys high school basketball is a higher level of athleticism than professional women's basketball.
Yes. And I've said this for many years. Maybe the women's game, what they need to do is lower it 6 inches so the game maybe is more played above the rim and you have more. Because, you have one or two women that can dunk, and it's usually this long, tall, lanky woman that can reach it, But if you lowered the rim and maybe elevated the game that way, it might become a little bit more sexy to people. Because on television or whatever, if the rim's a little lower, you're not going to pay attention to that. But if the game's high-flying, you will pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? But it's normal, man. Most men can't watch women's basketball. So, Alex, you don't need to apologize or explain. It's just one of those things, man. Man of 1,005 Holes says, I only watch the WNBA playoffs when it comes to the WNBA. There you go. And let me tell you, that's a miracle that you watch that, because most men won't even watch that. They have no interest in watching the playoffs. They don't care who won the WNBA title, none of that. What else do we have here? Alan D., there's a huge difference between the level of pro sports and college, and plenty of people watch that. Yeah. Yes, sir, I can definitely watch women's soccer easily. See? I told you, Alex. I knew it. Because when you watch women's soccer, you're more impressed by their play, okay, than you are the men. The women really know how to play the game. They really know how to play together and set each other up. That's something that the men, what's going on there? That's something that the men really, really struggle with. Oh, I can watch women's volleyball, both indoor and outdoor, however. I still don't know how the scoring works and don't care. Yeah, something tells me when you're watching women's volleyball, you might be watching for more than just volleyball. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, when guys tell me that about women's volleyball, it's, they're usually attractive women in bikinis playing a game, and, so it's, I can tell you, I'm just saying, I'm just being honest, man. I just think there's some of that in there, Philip Campbell says, come on, people just like whatever they like. I don't think women should support any particular sport just because they're women. Philip, you're 1,000% right. But the only way women's sports is ever going to elevate itself is if their own kind celebrates it. Let me ask you something, Philip. What happens if men didn't support men's sports? How would they do? Get what I say? You get my drift? The women aren't going to keep pro sports going. There's not. Some women go to football, some women go to baseball, some women go to basketball, but you and I know, what is it? How many men? 95% men, 90% men, right? So the women wouldn't be able to sustain it. That's my point. So if men didn't support their own sports, if men didn't support their own sport, then that's why you see attendance in certain other, like baseballs, going down, and hockey is one that doesn't have great attendance either, those kind of sports. And then you start talking about the lesser men's sports. They have no interest in them at all. So I get what you're saying, but it's imperative that if women's sports is ever going to excel to that point, women have to support it, man. They have to, because you're not going to get by with men, and vice versa for men's sports. So that equation has got to improve. And if it doesn't, and if women don't know how to connect with their own and bring them to an arena or a stadium, then you'll have to settle for the lingerie league and never have a real football league. Get what I'm saying? And then you'll settle for women's soccer that this is maybe the third league now in the last 15 years that they've tried. And will it fail again? I don't know, but we'll see. But most of them do. I'm just saying, you got to have women involved, my man. You have to. Because if not, you are dead in the water. I guess because I like Candace Parker and Maya Moore. Oh, and that's another thing about women's sports, man. There's some incredible human beings there, And when you talk about Maya Moore and Candace Parker, those are people that you can tell your daughter that, hey, this is a person you can look up to, So that's the other thing. There's a lot of great leaders in women's sports, It's a shame. That's why they need more support. They need to be highlighted. They need to get that exposure, and maybe they can start to climb up a little bit. College women's volleyball is fun to watch. Don't know why they have to wear underwear, though. I'm not touching that. Super Boom Shack says, I work with that lady that used to be a badass in the lingerie league. Oh, okay. I don't know who that is. Don't watch the lingerie league. I think I may have watched like a half a minute of the lingerie league once that I was channel surfing. I might have run into it, but no, I just normally don't watch it. It's funny that I'll watch women's soccer. I'll watch women's basketball, right? But lingerie, it's like you're watching for one thing. You're watching for, who's the fine piece of ass? That's it. It's just, how do you take a sport serious that's called lingerie league? I mean, just let's be honest, right? I'm not telling you they don't hit hard. I'm just saying, when they say lingerie league, that's it. Your mind is already on. Listen, we're already on one track as it is. Okay? That the male species thinks about one thing all the time. And then you tell us lingerie, and we're like, well, hey, let's go. Let's load it up. Yeah.
She's scantily clad.
Come on, man.
We're tuning in.
Yes, please. Give me a break. It is what it is.
You're not watching the game for, the offensive line. That's the best pulling offensive line in the league, and she has an arm. No, you're watching to see if maybe some piece of article of clothing has a mishap.
Janet Jackson. Yes, exactly. Clifton Wellman says Sue Bird is kick-ass. I'm a Sue Bird fan, so yes, that's I would go with that. Let's see what else. Adrian Purnell is the hottest lingerie league player of all time. All right, I'll look it up. But you see what I'm saying?
He doesn't say the best player.
Hottest. But then again, you have already objectified yourself as a league once you call yourself the lingerie league. Okay? Because now you have dressed in lingerie. So the only reason a woman dresses in lingerie normally, it's because sex comes next. Not football, sex. Okay? The only women that wear lingerie and don't go to sex are the women in the lingerie league. Okay?
Or lingerie models.
Unless you bought it in Victoria's Secret, you were trying it on Victoria's Secret, then you took it off only to wear it later on in the evening so then you could take it off again. Okay? That's the only reason lingerie is worn. So the second you tell an animal like a male that it's lingerie league, we're just thinking.
It doesn't matter what sport it is.
Yes, that's it. Lingerie volleyball, you will never take them serious. Right? Lingerie NBA, forget it, bro. Can you imagine the LNBA, the lingerie NBA? Who's going to be thinking, oh, yeah, I can't wait to watch this woman dunk or dribble? No, dude. You're trying to look at some other things jiggling and bouncing around. Because that's just the way, you're telling men lingerie.
What was it Gallagher that used to say? The women that are in the, you don't want to see those. You want to see, oh, I broke a nail. Time out.
Yes, right.
Wasn't that Gallagher?
Yes. I mean, it's terrible because we're terrible, we're wired that's why women get, frustrated with us because we're wired like animals, So you can't tell a man lingerie anything, bro. You tell him lingerie, what, where? That's it. It's over. Can't take it serious. Sorry, but those chicks play hard as hell and looked hot. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you they don't play hard. I'm just telling you that.
It seems like a lot of people have tuned into this lingerie league. I've never seen it, but obviously there's
a good chance, Bill, that most red-blooded males have tuned into the lingerie league and not the WNBA.
Look, okay, like the Latin,
only women's tennis has been watched more than the lingerie league
like
for men.
Like the Latin TV channel. I'll be going
the
through.
Same thing.
There's a girl. Boom. I'm stopped.
Same
stop and
thing.
park.
All of you
What's
out there.
What's going on?
Every one of you out there that doesn't speak a lick of Spanish, buddy, you stop at Telemundo and Univision all the time.
You have
You're
to.
cruising,
You have
like,
to.
Whoa, what's that?
Not my fault. It's that girl's fault. Look at him. Wow.
Yep, that's us. That's the male person right there. That's us. We're complete dogs. Did you see that weather girl? Oh, yeah, I got to watch the weather. Who the hell wants to watch the weather? I grew up with Weaver the Weatherman. You know what I mean? And now you come up with, what is her name? Lolita Scala, whatever, the one that was in Channel 7 or whatever.
How about Walter Cronice? Remember?
Or Cronkite, you mean?
No. Wasn't Cronice our weatherman
Cronice?
for Channel 10? WPLG before
Cronice? I don't remember.
Wasn't that his name?
I don't remember Cronice. Yeah, I think you might be again. We're into that Duckworth Foxworth thing again. You're probably in the neighborhood, but it's something else. For weather. I don't know if it was Cronice. I remember Don No. I remember Weaver the Weatherman, right? What was it? Walter Cronice, hailed as one of South Florida's pioneers, died at the age of 90, died at his home in Jacksonville, served 25 years in the Navy where he trained. WPLG.
That's what I said, Channel 10. He was the guy before Don No.
God, I don't even remember him. I don't remember Cronice.
That was...
Give me his picture. See if I remember him. Man, I've been in this town my entire life. Damn, it's black and white. He's showing a map it's not even digital, bro.
Of course
That's
not.
like before I was born. No, Cronice must have been, I don't even remember him as a kid, bro. I don't. And was he right before Don No? Let me see. Oh, okay.
Yes, he was, man.
Yeah.
He was the night guy.
Yeah.
When Don came on, he got moved to the day.
Yeah.
He always had the bow tie.
Yes, now I remember him.
Yeah, bro.
That's a good picture there. See, that picture there reminds me of but I don't remember the name. Don't remember the name.
That's why I'm here, man.
The face I remember now.
Yeah, man. He was
I don't remember that name at all.
He was there for probably 30, 40 years.
I'm sure he was.
Easily.
I'm sure he was. I don't remember that guy's name at all, dude. If you didn't show me that picture there, because the other one he was You really couldn't tell the face.
Oh, no, that was
yeah, you couldn't tell
white.
Black and white and stuff. But that one, wow, I don't remember that dude at all. Vivian Gonzalez, Annabelle Angus, Cronkite, Zemera Cordoba. Who is she? Now we're coming up with fine weather women, right? Is that what we're doing? Jackie Johnson? No, Jackie Johnson's coming in? Oh, you could say lingerie, pay your taxes, and I will be so happy about that. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Rosendo goes, the guy with the bow tie. There you go. You got it. You got it, Rosendo. Who the hell remembers the letter people? Who is the letter people? I don't know what that is. Lingerie League and You Show Me they are wearing a lot of pads. The football pads are a total turnoff in the Lingerie League. Why? I mean, they got the shoulder pads. They probably have some knee pads or whatever, but they don't have anything right around the waist, right? I would imagine you still get to see the middle part of the body, right? Well, the pads may cover, but dude, they've got to protect they've got to protect those.
If you're playing full contact football, you have to have pads on.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, but again, they are trying to play football, so I don't blame if the ladies are the pads, are protecting the chest because that's important, dude. Getting hit in the chest is like us getting hit in the family jewels.
Now, as a lingerie football team, question: is it more imperative to have the hot girl or the girl that can run a 4.5, 4.6?
Both. Hot and she can run.
Yeah,
hot and she can throw.
Look, this girl could run a 5.2. This girl runs a 4.6. This one's hotter than the other. Which one are you taking?
Wait, whoa. But see, you're saying they're both hot.
No. That's the thing.
Are we talking about like a league of their own? And the girl that can...
the girl in the gym.
Yeah, the one
that was raised by her dad.
Yes, exactly.
And, like, the boys get upset when she switches to her natural side, remember?
Right, that's right. So I'm just saying, if that's the case, then that's a whole different ballgame. You always love that when they're, like, introducing the team, and then they introduce her, and everybody's picture's close up, and she's, like, 100 yards away.
Look, the women at the finishing school. Oh, I hope they're going to play a lot of night games.
Right. Oh, God. So terrible. All right, 786-322-1105. That is one movie that I can watch over and over again, A League of Their Own. Although I got to get off them. I will admit, okay? I got to get out of the movie towards the end because it's too sad towards the end when they're all together and one passed away, and the son's there. The kid that was a pain in the ass, and his mom died, and all that stuff. And that's the part that kind of gets sad. And so that's the part that I kind of want to switch out of that part there. And I always like surf out, and because I'll run into that movie and I'll stay watching it. But when it gets towards the end, I'm like, no, I'm out of here, bro. I'm out of here.
Oh, I thought it was great when you finally woke up in the fourth inning and you got up and got a drink and you scratched yourself there for an inning.
Right, yes. It's an awesome movie. It is just a great movie. Alex says, exactly, I wouldn't even be looking at the upper body too much. Yeah, when the Lingerie League was in Orlando, the only pads they wore were shoulder pads. Well, there you go. That's not bad. I don't watch it, so I can't tell you what they wear, but I would imagine that I thought they would wear pads around their legs. I guess they don't. But I'm not surprised that if this is hiding the chest, which is something that I know most guys want to see. WPLG 10 was awesome in the 70s with Ann Bishop, Dwight Lauderdale, Frank Ford, and Glenn Rinker. In the 70s, it wasn't Frank Ford, my man. It was Chuck McDowell, or Chuck Dowdle.
Chuck Dowdle. And he also hosted the Miami Dolphins show.
Yeah, the Don Shula show.
Tinsley Sports.
Yes. Tinsley Sports production. Filmed on Brickell, right outside Key Biscayne. That's where that Tinsley building was at. Right there. But it was Chuck Dowdle in the 70s. And then Frank Fort took over And then, Frank obviously, and he's still in town, obviously doing his stuff with FAU. Frank is absolutely awesome, a legend. I used to get so pissed off for Frank. And I think I've told this story a couple times. No, maybe just once. I think this will be maybe the second time I've told this over time. I hated watching Frank Fort towards the back end of his career in Channel 10 because of Jimmy Cefalo. And not for anything Frank. Frank is awesome. I love Frank. He is a phenomenal sportscaster, real reporter. Frank would do all the work. And he would cover Heat games because I was the Heat guy. I was the Dolphins guy. So I would run into Frank all the freaking time, right? And so the Heat goes to the playoffs. This is like in the 90s when they're going up against the Knicks, right? And they go to New York to play the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Frank Fort covers the games all the time, right? And if the Heat goes to Indiana, they send Frank. If they go to Houston, they send Frank, right? But when they go to New York, Jimmy Syphilis would bump Frank Fort and would go. And I would hate that for Frank every single time, dude. Okay? Jimmy did no work. Okay? He was never, ever on the beat doing anything. Lazy as hell. All right? Really doesn't follow sports as it is. Just a wine sipper. Hell, even in the own sport that he played football, you hear him as an announcer. He's the worst we've ever had in this town, mispronouncing half the crap that goes on. Really, I can't tell you how weak. And Cephalo's an excellent broadcaster. Let's get that straight. When he was doing like news and doing game shows, and I think he even did the Olympics and all that. Cephalo was excellent. But as a sportscaster, as a play-by-play guy, terrible. He is the worst ever in the history of South Florida sports, in any sport whatsoever. But as an anchor, Frank would do all the grunt work, dude. Frank would do all the reporting. Frank did all the packages. Frank did all the work, man. And then he would get screwed every time they went to New York. And Jimmy's standing outside his little hotel with his little leather jacket to do his stand-up. And then, if they went to the Lakers, and Jimmy would bump him and go to Lakers. Oh, they're going to Denver? Send Frank. It was just, it was one of those things like, and when you see it personally and you know who's the one that really works at it, because I've seen it, I've watched it firsthand. Frank Fort's an ass kicker. You know what I mean? And just never got the fair shake that he deserved. And so I'm just, man, when you see people that work hard and they deserve more and they don't get it, that's what I hate about this business. This business is absolutely brutal, dude. It is just unfair. By the way, how long? I see 112. How long have I been going on here?
I would like to state for the record that you were about to cross the 57-minute mark, sir.
All right, so we're an hour on. All right, we're at 12397 Pembroke Road out here at VSS West Pines. Come on out here, man. 20%. That's right. Mention our name, all right? 20%. And you can get anything out here if you're getting CBD, whether you're getting any of the stuff out here. Trust me. Come on out here, and you will love it. Phil Campbell goes, damn, you remember that? What are we talking about? Are you talking about the Frank Ford stuff? And if that's what you're talking about, yes, I remember that. You're damn right I remember that because I don't like seeing good people get screwed. And Frank Ford is one of the best human beings you will ever, ever meet in this business. And so, yeah, I got Frank's back, dude. From now till the end of time. Guy is just an absolute freaking stud. Anyway, let's take a break. We'll come back. I guess this is, like hour 2 or something, right? And then we're starting.
Well, it was the start early.
It's like an hour. It's almost like we're almost 2 hours in, right?
From our start time, yes.
Yeah.
But technically from the 12 to 1, we're a quarter past the 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Dougie Fresh goes, oh, was Cephalo worse than Eric Dickerson at the Olympics? Hey, folks, swimmers say that the water at the pool is wet. Back to you. Eric Dickerson was terrible. He wasn't built for that. Listen, I'm not going to kill Cephalo that way. Cephalo was a damn good broadcaster in many ways. He just can't do play-by-play. He was excellent on Channel 10 as a stand-up doing a sportscast. Smooth as syrup, bro. I'm telling you, Jimmy Cephalo is a good broadcaster. Now, just because, put it this way, I know I can do radio, and I can talk sports, and I can talk music and all that. You can't put me on Nightline. Okay? You got to leave Britt Hume there. You got to leave Ted Koppel. You know, maybe Bob Costas can do it because Bob Costas can probably do anything in the world. I am known Bob Costas, okay? So just because you can do, there are some things you can do and some things you can't, right? And you guys just got to be honest about it. Cephalo was an excellent broadcaster in many ways. As a play-by-play guy, he is the worst in the history of time. And two factors, by the way, let me add why he's terrible. I know I keep going. Anyway, two factors why he's terrible, okay? One, he doesn't put enough time into it, doesn't care enough about the players and to know the game. That's why he's constantly screwing up. If you notice, he mispronounces half the names because he really doesn't follow the sport. And that's his other thing. He doesn't work hard. You just can't do the broadcast. Okay? Our jobs, you think it's what we do on the air? Man. If you really want to be good at this, you got to pay your dues off the air to get better. So you got to announce games, you got to do production, you got to do reporting, you got whatever it is. There's so many things that you do off the air, engineering, whatever. All of that is done off the air. All of that is practiced on your own time. You know what I mean? And to me, Cephalo's that guy is just lazy. He just doesn't really ever commit to it. Why? Because he's a jock and he was handed it. That's it. I think he was making, by the way, I want to say he was making, I was told, it was like $600,000 in his final year, and he was working like 3 days a week. Back with more.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with zero down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Big O Show. Big O Show. Big O Show.
All right, we are back. We're back. Out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by and say hi. We always appreciate it out here. Love to see you. Love to meet you. Just keep a little bit of a distance. Myron chiming in a little super chat. Thank you, Myron. Appreciate you, my man. You are an absolute stud. Give Myron love. Thank you, Myron. You're awesome. He put #1 fan. You are the best, my brother. Thank you so much. Very cool. Super Boom Shack says the worst is when Cephalo will scream something like "good happened" for the Finns, and then you realize nothing happened, and it's a fake scream too, right? That's the worst part about it. It's like this. There's no real enthusiasm for it. It's all fake and generated. There's no natural, response to it. It's just there's no passion there, dude. Guy's like half dead. Dougie Fresh says, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry, not Dougie. Ray Grulon says, Cephalo, play-by-play guy is so boring. No excitement, period. I'm with you. Alex says, Cephalo is so bad, is a bad at play-by-play. My 5-year-old nephew can do better. Yes. Yes. And Myron says, Cephalo needs to retire. Amen, Myron. Yes. Oh, your honest opinion. Do you think we're actually going to have an NFL season this year? Everything seems to say no way. I don't think so, no. I don't think there'll be a season. I think they'll try. Don't get me wrong now. They're going to take the field. Okay? The greed factor is too huge here, so they're going to take the field. That you can bet your life on. They're dead set on it. Will it finish? I don't think so. I don't think so. No. I'm sorry. Unless you bubble all 32 teams and 32 bubbles in each city, that's the only way I see it. Super Boom Shack says, I like Joe Rose, but I think this new excitement over the Finns, we need a fresh new broadcast team. Joe doesn't need to be changed. Joe's fine, dude. Okay? No, I'm good with Joe. You change everything else. Okay? I love Bob Greasy, but he's 110 years old. You know what I mean? And Dick Stockton is a freaking legend. I get it, bro. I will never be that guy, okay? He is a god, man. Dick Stockton is one of the great broadcasters of all time, all right? And I have countless memories of Dick Stockton calling tons of great games. But now in his older stages that he's calling these Dolphin games in the oh, my Lord, it is brutal. It's brutal. It gets to a point where we all reach, we reach a time, there's an expiration date on all of us, right? We all may want to avoid it as much as possible. Madonna wants to still look like the Material Girl, and she's got to understand that material's all raggedy and used up already. There's an expiration date on everything. And the expiration date has happened on Bob Greasy. It's happened on Dick Stockton. And there was never an expiration date. He was just never good enough. Jimmy Cephalo had no business being named the play-by-play guy. None. You go from Bill Zimfer to that guy. We went from Rick Weaver, Bill Zimfer to Jimmy Cephalo? Are you kidding me, bro? And Bill, my brother, when they asked you to move down here, man, why didn't you move? We could have kept Mandich and Zimfer together for a while. Oh, man, that was fun, right? Mandich and Zimfer, that was fun. Like, when you had Rick Weaver and Hank Goldberg and, oh, God, what's the sideline guy? That was at IOD, Dave Graveline. When you had those guys, it was awesome. Third down in a cab ride with Rick Weaver, all of that. I loved it, okay? And then when we got Zimfer and Mandich, I think we were in heaven. That was my favorite right there. Those two guys were just awesome together, man. Because Zimfer was an exceptional play-by-play guy, but then he allowed Mad Dog to be the color guy that he was supposed to be. And then that's what we loved because we got Mad Dog, And there's nothing better than having Mad Dog, call everything. Good or bad. When it was bad, there's a stench of manure all over the field. You know, just stuff like that only the Mad Dog can do. You know? I miss those guys. Bless you, Mad Dog. Bless you, brother. Big O, but Jimmy Cephalo was the bomb for the Finns in Super Bowl. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. He's a good player. Good player, too, man. I had no problem with Cephalo as a player. Good little receiver. Maybe Jimmy Cephalo should stick to wine. That's what Mike No-Go Zone says. Yes. Yes, my brother, he should. Yes. Mark McIntyre says, watch the Puppy Bowl on Super Sunday. Replays all falls this year, too. What is the Puppy Bowl? It's it's somebody just called it the... Okay. So apparently the scouting report is it's terrible. Okay. All right. I would like Jason Taylor replace Bob Greasy. Love Jason Taylor. Now Jason's not going to bring the kind of excitement that you need from. See, the thing is, Jason can't do it better than Joe Rose. Okay? Now, he could be the third guy, kind of be the straight man out of the whole thing and provide the analysis, and Joe can be the guy that adds the color and the fun to it, but you still need a play-by-play guy overall. You know what I'm saying? You still gotta find the right person, but it's just not. It's not Cephalo, bro. It's not Cephalo. You know? As Ian from Brooklyn says, Mad Dog was the Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He was the the bomb, the man. I'm with you all the way on that. I think every Doll fan pretty much loves Mad Dog. I think it's like 99% of us. Because obviously almost nobody gets 100%, but I think Mad Dog's one of those guys that gets pretty damn close. Ray Gudulong chiming in on a super chat. Thank you, Ray. He says, holy Toledo, Rick Weaver, and Mad Dog, miss you. All right, Miami. Gives me goosebumps. Yep. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. That is definitely a man that we miss. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105. All right, everybody knows what happened to Kirk Cousins in the NFC Championship game, right? You know what happened to him, right? He had Emmanuel Sanders open way downfield. If he lays out the not Emmanuel Sanders, who was it that the overthrew? Who did Cousins overthrow? What? No, was it Diggs? It was Diggs. It was because Garoppolo did it with Sanders, but Cousins to I think it was Diggs. Now I'm trying to remember, but anyway, so he didn't come up in a key moment in the playoffs last year, right? So people are now. They got a video of Cousins practicing, and so now they got TikTok videos of him. And so I'm gonna show you first, Bill. Look at this. Look. He's throwing back. That's the idea. They're making fun of him.
There's a guy in the backyard over there.
Watch. On
the other side of the fence.
It's like, oh, come on. So
that's awesome.
So on TikTok, people are making fun of him, right? And what they're doing is they're doing videos where Cousins drops back to pass. I'm gonna play it for you now, and I guess Bill, you're gonna have to tell me if this thing with the glare or not, if I'm able to get it right. But so what they're doing with this is there's a video, and you'll see Kirk Cousins drop back, and then he'll throw the ball, and it's half screen. So they edited in their part of it next to it, right? And like they're standing on some field waiting for the ball, and then the ball just sails like 30 yards past them, right? So frustrated Viking fans have to kind of relive the moment with Kirk Cousins, right? So here's the TikTok video of the one of the fans that put it up and Kirk Cousins. There we go.
Right there.
All right. Boom. That's it. All right. And then here's the other one. And
yeah,
so
the other one's.
Everybody, it's several videos. You'll see several videos that they're doing it. It's hilarious, dude. It's fantastic.
You know what the ball looks like in the second one?
What?
It looks like a plane coming down for landing, like you're standing on the outside of the airport.
Yeah.
And there goes the plane.
Yeah. It's so far away. So they're having fun at his expense, obviously, because, he's overthrowing them. And let me tell you something. Kirk Cousins is the guy that is, look, he's a good dude. He's a solid quarterback, not a great one. He hasn't shown you that he can be great in big-time moments yet. And that's the knock on him right now. And until he actually kind of solves that riddle and shows everybody, no, I can show up in the big moments. And Garoppolo last year overthrowing Emmanuel Sanders is one that's going to be in the heads of a lot of people out there, and they're going to want to see him the next moment he's in a clutch time. See, that's the problem with Kirk. Kirk has been already in a couple times in moments where he had to come through, and he didn't come through with the big game. And so in Minnesota, we kind of all know that this is their window, and this is the guy they signed to help that team get over that window. And if he can't get over that window, he then will have to carry the burden of being the guy that's a choker, because that's what you get now. That's Tony Romo, whether you like it or not. And Tony Romo was an excellent football player, man. Tony Romo had certain games that very few people in the league can do some of the things that he would do, okay? There's no doubt about it. His athleticism, the way he could throw the ball, there are things that you have to give Tony that not everybody was nearly as mobile and as athletic as he is back there. And he also did a great job of adjusting with Dez Bryant, because Dez Bryant was a receiver who did not run crisp routes at all. He didn't really know how to run routes. So if you don't know how to run routes perfectly, precisely, all the time, it is hard for quarterbacks to know where you're going to be all the time. And for him to adjust to Dez shows you how good he was. Carson Palmer did the same thing with Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson did a lot of ad-libbing also. And Carson Palmer had to adjust to that. And that is a gift that quarterbacks have. Real quarterbacks have. You know what I mean? That they have touch and awareness and can really scan the field and make quick decisions. And even if your player is a little bit of an ad-libber, you know how to adjust to it. Shows how good you are as a quarterback. So I want to give Romo that love, but I also want to say you didn't come up with, the big games when you had to. And that was the knock on you. And that's going to be the knock on Kirk Cousins, who is making hand over fist a ton of money every year. And if he doesn't come through, he will be labeled as the reason why the Vikings have failed. Okay? I know Rick Spielman will take the hit, but Rick Spielman, outside of Kirk Cousins, has done an outstanding job with that team. Okay? And I know he didn't do an outstanding job here, and he had his, internal battles with Dave Wanstead and all that, but it seemed like Rick Spielman learned a lot about his mistakes here and then went to Minnesota and corrected them. And the one thing that he's got to get over the hump is the quarterback. And Kirk Cousins either has to prove him right, or he'll continue to prove everybody else right that, nice quarterback, but not good enough to be great when you need it. And that's the burden that those guys are going to have to carry for a while now until they're able to kind of shed that. And the only way you do that, so you're Steve Young with the airplane running around the field, is you got to win that big game, bro. And when your team's good enough, you have to take them there. Steve Young carried that burden too. He took over for Montana, and all the expectations were there, and they had a Super Bowl caliber team. And if Steve Young did not get it done, he would have been labeled that. Why? Because everybody saw what happened to him in Tampa. They didn't care about that he was a good quarterback at the LA Express. They didn't care about that. They saw him in Tampa be a destruction, and then he was sitting behind Joe Montana waiting for his opportunity. And if Bill Walsh tabs you, then that means you have to come through. You know what I mean? And sure enough, he was able to come through. And, those of us that are old enough and remember him doing the airplane, that airplane was him, the weight of the world was coming off his shoulders. Well, guys like Kirk Cousins and Jimmy Garoppolo are going into these seasons as the reason why they will win it all or the reason why they lost. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. We're almost at a half hour here again, right?
You know what's the way I look at those guys? Mm-hmm. They're the ones that have screwed up the quarterback market. Alex Smith, Cousins, Garoppolo. They have put it totally out of whack. The money those guys got paid.
But don't blame them, dude.
I know, but
blame the owners, blame the general managers. No.
How do you pay that guy?
You can't blame John Gruden for taking $100 million from Mark Davis, and now the guy in Carolina gets paid $10 million because of John Gruden. And even though that guy has never accomplished anything, okay, the Baylor coach that went over to
that was
Rule, right? Matt Rule, I think is his name, if I'm correct. He's getting paid $10 million a year, 7 years, $70 million, because Mark Davis overpaid for John Gruden. Now he raised it, but you can't blame the player or the coach for taking the money. You can't blame them, dude. You're going to take it too, even if you're not qualified. You're not qualified to be a general manager. But if they knock on your door and say, hey, Bill, we want you to be the general manager of the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to kick out Andy Reid. We're going to give you $100 million over the next 10 years. What are you going to do, say no?
You know what it shows, though? There's a lot of incompetency in the NFL. Yeah. They have no clue of the value of a dollar at all.
You watch the Dolphins the last 20 years? You watch Mike Wallace get number one money? How about Ndamukong Suh get paid like if he's Warren Sapp?
That was the team that made out better was not going to Detroit to replace Suh.
Yeah,
for only 10 or 12 million.
Yeah. So I mean, come on, man. It's just it is what. But I can't blame the player or the coach because they did what I would have done too. I'm taking the money, bro.
The thing is,
taking the money.
Once those guys get there, you know what I mean. A new benchmark's been met. So now, not only is the top dollar guy, but also your secondary quarterbacks. The market all shifts, and it trickles all the way through it.
That's why I always laugh. I don't get it nearly as much anymore, but I used to get the fan every year, right? The Dolphin that would call me and say, hey, this is awesome, dude. You see the cap went up 8, 10 million, 12 player salaries go up too, dude. Understand that. So you get the same 53 players. You're not getting any extra. You're not getting an extra receiver, or you can add another $10 million player. You're forgetting that the next guard you pay, you have to pay him more than the last guard. And the next tackle you get, you have to pay him more than the next one. And then the receiver, and so on and so forth. So all that money that went up, it gets spread out again, dude. You're not getting any extra players. And then you know what he called me? Oh, dude, you're just a hater. Oh, bro, I'm just trying to tell you the
like you get the bank, you get to put that money in your pocket. I got this. No, it's going to be spread out to $1 million to this guy, $500,000 to that, and that $8 million is going to be gone.
Of course, it's gone. It's always gone because look at the salaries; they just keep going up on every position. Doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if it's a freaking kicker, bro.
You're paying good defensive linemen $20 million plus now.
Yeah. Well, the stars, yeah.
And, you know, they are. We are. That's the market.
Yeah.
And situation, if you remember, Flacco wins the Super Bowl. Flacco was the first $20 million quarterback. You know? It's 10, 12 years later, and we're paying that to defensive linemen.
Yep. Please, don't remind me he gets to throw right my Niners win to the Super Bowl. Hey, Myron, listen, I mean, don't give up yet, bro. I mean, it's only one time that he's been in that position. He could bounce back from it. Now, he has to carry – the Cousins thing has gone on a little longer because we've watched him in moments in Washington that he had opportunities to really shine and he would fail. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Andy Dalton. A lot of times in most of the primetime games, he would fail. It's just one of those things. When it comes to your guy, Garoppolo, he hasn't been in that position much. So he's got to – sometimes you learn from those positions the first time or two that you're in it. You know what I mean? And then you get better. So that'll be the interesting thing, Myron. That's where I'm closer to have given up already on Cousins. Like, he's all right, but he's never going to be elite. He's never really going to carry you.
He'll get you in the playoffs. He may win you a game, and that's about it. That's
about
all you can realistically expect.
Right. I just don't see him as the guy that carries you. Garoppolo, I'm not sure yet. You know what I mean? I know he failed that moment, but that doesn't mean you're going to be a failure. You know, I was just talking about Steve Young. He looked terrible in Tampa, but that's because he was a terrible franchise. And now he goes to San Fran and then ends up winning the Super Bowl. So I would, you know, Myron, I would pump the brakes. I would give Jimmy Garoppolo another year here and see what he does. And if he gets into that position again and he fails, then I'm on your bandwagon. Then I'm with you on giving up on him at that point. But if he, you know, shows you some moxie this time around, then he shows you he learned from where he's at. Prepare to lose against Miami, Josh says to Myron. That's right, baby. Fins up all the way. All the way. Remember that game where Cam Wake sacked Dalton for a safety in the OT and won the game? Yes, sir. Bro, Niners are going to kick our ass so bad we're going across the country for that game. Not happening. Alex, see, you're forgetting something. The Dolphins are going over to California. They won't catch any COVID because they're going to light it up. Remember, there's 11 strands of marijuana that help you kill COVID, about 70% of it. So just want to remind you there, just in case. Meanwhile, we still have it illegal in some parts of the country, which I don't understand, including here where it's just medicinal. We need to make this recreational all the way. Okay, alcohol is 1,000 times worse, yet marijuana is the one that's been used for all kinds of medicinal purposes. It's amazing. Anyway, so smoke up, Johnny. You might not get COVID because you smoke. Josh says we should remember what happened with the Bears. They had a good defense, and what happened? We beat them. Well, that's Marino. When you have that guy, you know, Josh, that's the difference right there. When you have those kind of guys are freaks. And he was a freak already. See, that's the thing, that when you got to that Super Bowl game, you had already seen all kinds of exciting stuff from Marino. Marino showed you that he can carry you. Marino showed you he can beat you with, 45 seconds left, and he's backed up in his 20. And you're like, we got to drive 80 yards. There's 45 seconds left. And when they score, there's 15 left over. And you're like, yeah, Marino had 15 seconds to spare. These kind of things, but those kind of guys are they're freaks, man. They're freaks. And think about this. Since Marino retired, and you watch all these guys that came after him, it just, as the time goes on, you get to appreciate it even more. In Kansas City, up until Pat Mahomes, they were still talking about Len Dawson, the guy that won an AFL title. Okay? That's the guy they would talk about in Kansas City. They didn't talk about Elvis Gerbach. They didn't talk about, forget about the countless names of QBs, Trent Green, you name it, whatever, that has been in Kansas City over the years. None of them were impactful. None of them you remembered. None of them were going to go in their Ring of Honor or whatever the hell they call it there in Chiefs land. None of them. I mean, it was just one stiff after another, maybe a guy that had a little success, but really long run, nothing. It's Len Dawson, and then you get to Pat Mahomes.
Super Bowl IV beating Minnesota Vikings. That's like
right.
Once upon a time.
Right, but that was their guy. You know what I mean? And for us, it's Greasy, and then it's Marino, and now we're waiting that hopefully two is the guy. But it took us nearly a quarter century to get that guy. Because Marino retired in 99, so 21 years to get that guy. 21 years.
Now, 21 years.
Yeah, but it was a lot longer for Kansas City.
Yeah, but you know what? Does that 21 years not feel like more than 21 years?
It does, because it's painful. Because it's Cleo Lemon. It's painful. You know what I'm saying? It's painful. So, yeah, when it's Cleo Lemon, yeah, it's pretty bad. And that's why we're at right now. Rich V says Montana played for the Chiefs. Yeah, but, that's not he had a couple seasons. He took them to the playoffs, but that's not their guy. You know what I'm saying? That was a rental they had for a couple years. And he did a nice job there, by the way. He got him in the playoffs.
The Monday night game when him and Elway go at it.
Yeah.
That is an all-time.
Yes.
That's probably the highlight of his Chief 2 years.
Yeah.
Was it 2 years?
Yeah. But they didn't win anything. They didn't really make an impact in the playoffs or anything. So, but again, we were talking about an older Montana, the back surgery, all that stuff. That was the amazing part, actually, when you think about what Bill was talking about. The success he had there, I think most of us were impressed because he added to the legend, because at a later stage in his career, he suffered that back injury, and San Fran did not want to then go through the rehab and then keep playing the old guy when they had the young guy. He wasn't even young anymore at that point. Steve wasn't young anymore then. It was about time that you gave him his opportunity, and they finally gave it to him, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? So you're right about Montana, but it's not their guy. You know what I mean? It's not Len Dawson, and it's not Pat Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Although Len Dawson wasn't drafted by the Chiefs. You know that, right? He was traded from the Giants, right? I think it was the Giants, and Lombardi was Lombardi the coach then?
Lombardi and Landry were the offense and defensive coordinators for the Giants back in the day. That's why when you talk about Frank Gifford and him never coaching, it was like, dude, you had these two guys as your coordinators,
right? And
you were never inspired to ever get a whistle in your mind and be a coach. Seriously, man?
I think the story goes that was it Lombardi or was it? I'm trying to remember now. It might have been Lombardi. Goes to Hank Stram. Well, Hank, listen, I know you've got an affinity for Len Dawson, but I want you to know that he just doesn't have it. And, you could get fired by taking this chance. And so he trades for Len Dawson, and the rest is history. And the Kansas City Chiefs go on to have just a monster. It wasn't Lombardi. It wasn't Lombardi. He was in the Giants. Lombardi was gone already, I think, to the Packers. It was, God, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, because Lombardi goes back to the early mid-60s.
And it wasn't Landry either, because Landry was already with the expansion Cowboys in those days in the NFL. I'm trying to remember who the coach was in that story. Can't remember everything, man. But the coach did tell him, the guy that he was trading him away, told him, hey, be careful. Lenny Dawson doesn't have it. And then Len Dawson went on to have a Hall of Fame career, because Len Dawson was kind of a journeyman at that point. And he was on the bench. He wasn't even playing. So that's why you want him? All right. Can you imagine think about this world then. You're trying to trade for somebody from somebody else's team, and that person from that team is telling you, hey, I'll trade him to you, but bro, I'm telling you, I'm trading you a lemon. You know what I'm saying? Like you would never hear that nowadays, right? Yeah. Oh, you want him? Yeah, man. Yeah. What do you want? He's such a great guy. Yeah, he really controls our locker room. Really helps us. You'd be BSing left and right just to finagle whatever pick you can from somebody. It's like Belichick calling the Bucks calling Belichick. Hey, you want to trade one of your linemen? Yeah, no problem. Logan Mankins is available. What do you want for him? Well, 5th round. Well, no, he's really good, man. He's got a lot left in the tank. You got to give me a third. They give him a third, and Logan Mankins retires right away after that. I mean, it just, that's what goes on in the NFL. Like Belichick knew that Logan Mankins was like toast, done, history in the archives. And he goes, before he retires on me, let me go get a third rounder from a stupid team. And we'll sucker the Bucks. But think about that. Somebody telling Hank Stram, I'll trade him to you, but man, he might get you fired. It's like, that's like too decent to help your own team. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105. Ray goes, oh, my God, A.J. Feely, LOL. And we gave up 2 high draft picks for him, yeah. Yeah. The best part, you know what was the best part about A.J. Feely, right? You guys remember, right? What's the best part about A.J. Feely? Come on, let's go. Heather Mitz. So his wife. His beautiful soccer wife. She was on the national team. Good-looking girl. That was the best part about A.J. Feely. I don't know if they're still together. Put A.J. Feely there, bro, and see on Wikipedia if A.J. Feely is still married to Heather Mitz. Okay? Do you remember Heather Mitz?
I was just going to say, it did nothing for me between the sidelines and the goalposts, so I could really care less about her.
You don't remember her?
Not at all, sir.
Look it up. Look up Heather Mitz, gents, and you're welcome.
Playing in the lingerie football league, man?
No, she doesn't have to play in the lingerie football league. Just look at Heather Mitz, and you're welcome. That's all I can tell you. You're welcome. And I'll just keep it like that. That's all. Beautiful woman, bro.
What's funny is as I pull it up on Google, you know what's the first line that pops up?
What?
A.J. Feely wife.
Right. I told you. Heather Mitz. I told you. Heather Mitz is gorgeous, bro. Gorgeous girl. Okay? Hit images on the top, and you'll see even more. But are they still married?
Okay, this is dated from 16. It says that they're still married, but this is dated.
Okay, there you go. If that was Feely's wife, I have new respect for him. No, that's his wife. Heather Mitz was his wife. I don't know if they're, again, I don't follow, A.J. Feely's life, so I have no idea if he's still married. But you got to give the man props. When you deserve the props, you got to give him props. And Heather Mitz, that's, got to tell you. Oh, so excited for the Heat tonight. Expectations, I'm a little worried since it's been so long, afraid of some pulled muscles. Well, that's going to happen, my brother. That's going to happen. They've been off for 4 months, and now they got to go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Speaking of 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, I got a story for you. 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Eddie Van Halen, and this is news that at the same time will be a little disturbing, and I'll tell you why. But first of all, he is now selling some of his cars from his car collection. Stephen Becker Automotive Group specializes in all makes and models of classic and antique muscle cars. Each comes with a certificate of authenticity emblazoned with the guitarist's EVH trademark and personally signed by Van Halen himself. The first is a 1970 Chevy Nova, a price tag of $100,000. Painted in tang yellow orange, the car was customized by Bones Fab, who put in a 650 horsepower LSX 454 engine, an upgraded suspension, and larger tires. In tribute, the license plate reads, "Got LSX." The description says the car is all dialed up and brutally fast. Van Halen regularly drove it on California's freeways. The newest of the 3 cars is a 16 Porsche, a 911 GT3 RS. He's selling it for $220,000. He purchased it directly from the Porsche factory for his specifications. It features a 4.0-liter 6-cylinder engine that can go 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. It can reach 193 miles an hour, and the plate reads 5150B. Okay? Speaking of car and driver, Van Halen described the Porsche as so light, but really it's handling. I don't know how Porsche did it. We raced in the rain in Button Willow, which is my favorite track. We raced in the effing rain and never lost it, never spun out. I set it up so you can feel it and go, and you can actually slide the damn car. It's the first time I've ever been able to do 4-wheel drift in a Porsche. Every other Porsche I've ever had, I spun them all. Well, every 911 anyway. How about Van Halen, man? He's doing a Tokyo drift, dude. All right. The third is a 1947 Dodge COE stake bed truck. Van Halen used it when he goes to home improvement shops, as with the Nova Bones Fab worked on, putting a Ford 7.3-liter diesel turbo, rewiring it, and upgrading the radiator, transmission, and steering. And then they've got the pictures of all three there. Earlier in the week, it was learned that his 2000 Ferrari 550 race car that Van Halen once owned is part of an auction rock memorabilia starting at $125,000, but it's expected to fetch between $150 and $200. The Nova, you want to see the Nova? Let me show you the Nova. Look at that Nova, dude. Huh? Look at that thing. That thing is gorgeous, bro. Gorgeous.
650 horsemen? That's a race car.
Yeah, basically. It's a whole bunch of Nova pictures. Oh, I'm sorry, because you guys don't see me. I'm trying to see if they have the Porsche pictures or anything, but it's just Nova, Nova, Nova. Nova, Nova, Nova. All right, it's all Nova pictures. They don't have the other ones. But, man, that's impressive, dude. Now, the twisted part of this story that I don't like, this is just me trying to, do simple addition. Remember that David Lee Roth has spoken about how Van Halen is not doing well. So I'm wondering if things have turned to a point where he's not doing well, that he's like, what do I have these cars for? I can't drive them anymore. I'm just wondering that's the, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm reading too much into it, because basically David Lee Roth said that his touring career is over, that we probably won't hear anything from Eddie again, which, again, that would be terrible.
I'm glad I got his last solo. From start to finish.
I'm glad I've seen him 100 times, bro. That's all. I'm just glad, And we talk about this all the time. People always tell me, why do you go to so many concerts? Well, now you see why I go to so many concerts, By the way, continuing on the music front.
Just to let me make it even to pay medical bills. Cover medical bills, man.
He's got to have insurance.
I know, but
he's got a filthy amount of money.
But you know what I mean?
I just don't think it's for that. I think it's more that he's kind of like,
why have it if I can't use it?
Right. And having it around,
you know what?
Paying him more.
It would hurt to not be able to go jump in that Nova or that Porsche.
And it's a waste having it sit there and not do anything.
7.3-liter pickup truck.
Yeah, I mean, come on, give me a break, dude. So The Cure is going to come out with a new album. Roger O'Donnell spoke about the band's long-awaited album. Robert Smith told NME that they were looking to finish their merciless new album back in 2019, 11 years after its predecessor, 413 Dream, adding that it had the working title of Live from the Moon, and it was one of 3 new Cure albums in the works. Talking to Classic Pop Magazine, O'Donnell now shared more of what to expect from the new record and how he and Smith have felt pressure after more than a decade without music. You got to listen to this, watch. 4 years ago, I said to Robert, we have to make one more record. It has to be the most intense, saddest, and most dramatic and most emotional record we've ever made, and then we can just walk away from it. He agreed. Listening to the demos, it is that record. I think everybody will be happy with it. The problem is, it's 12 years since the last album, so it becomes precious. When you've got a catalog like The Cure, it's a lot to live up to, Robert has said. If The Cure says any more, it had better be important, it had better be effing good. It is good to be an amazing record. I just suggest a little patience. And so now Robert Smith says there's only really 2 new albums, calling the reported 3rd new record literally just an hour of noise. I wouldn't call it an album. The first one would definitely be out. We're just wrapping it up now. It's going to be mixed until it's out. No one will believe me. I look forward to it coming out more than anybody else. Trust me. So we're going to get some new Cure music that we haven't had in a long, long time. And let me tell you something, folks. It looks like they're coming towards the end of this run. Okay, so if you have never seen The Cure and they happen to come to the United States for this tour, I'm suggesting that you go. okay? Make sure you get your asses out there if you like The Cure and if they go for multiple nights, go to multiple nights because you will not see the same concert, okay?
You will definitely get your money's worth and then some.
54.
No doubt.
I saw 54 songs at Bayfront in 2 nights, okay? And they played 30-some songs every night, like 31 or 32. And 54 were different songs, okay?
June 26th and 27th, 2016. I don't know why, but they're locked in my memory.
I don't blame you. Dougie Fresh says, "Oh, Mitz and Feely sounds like names of actors in a porno." Yeah, it's pretty close. You're right about that. You know,
not quite Dirk Diggler quality, but
yeah. Guns N' Roses, folks, they are expected to announce their rescheduled dates for their North American Stadium tour next Monday, July 27th, according to a message sent out by Ticketmaster. The original trek was scheduled to take place this summer, but was postponed due to COVID. Fans who had purchased tickets for the original dates received an email from Ticketmaster stating details for new dates, and they'll be shared next Monday. According to fans from mygnrforum.com, ticket holders received the following message from the ticket agency. Dear Guns N' Roses fan and ticket holders, we want to let you know that the event organizer is working on rebooking the tour for 2021, which includes your event. You will receive another email from us July 27th with full details. Now, I want to add something to this because I remember I read yesterday that a big-time promoter thinks that concerts will be done till 2022 because of insurance and COVID and everything else and liability issues and everything else that's going on. A lot of these bands that are rescheduling for 2021, you know what they're really doing? I think a lot of them are just positioning themselves just in case they can tour, and then they're ready to go. And they gotta save, they gotta reserve these places in order to make sure they have a tour next year. But you can cancel that tour. What you can't do is next year in February, then try to, set up your summer tour. Now, by then, if you can tour, then they're all gone. So a lot of these things, when you see them rescheduling dates for next year, I just want to remind you that they're probably rescheduling just to kind of, just to make a stake into a day and hold that place, basically, is what they're doing. Nothing more,
in the event
nothing
that
less.
The virus is cured and like to not be left on the outside, basically. Is that what it is?
That's
just,
it.
Holding a spot. In the event.
Holding a spot.
Because, what's the other thing, though? Think about how long they've been without money, man.
Yeah, I don't think we worry about them like they worry about us.
But
some tell me Slash is doing all right. You know what I'm saying?
I would hope so.
You
guys did get to see him with Miles Kennedy.
God,
what?
So good.
It was a few months before, right?
Yeah, so good, dude. So good. I'm telling you, you cannot miss. If him and Miles Kennedy tours again, you have to go
It's a must. It's a must.
It's a must, bro. It's a must. Miles Kennedy is excellent as a front man. I know he's coming out with a solo album, too. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if it came out already, but I want to get his solo album when it does come out. But I'm telling you, I saw him in Orlando because they didn't come to South Florida, so we had to drive up to Orlando. It was a Greeper myself that went up there to go check it out. It was awesome. In fact, I was standing next to a listener and somebody that works down here. I met somebody there, and I was like, oh, no, I live in South Florida. I came out, us too, and whatever, and all that. So, yeah, it's cool. A couple of other music notes that I could throw out there to you guys. Today in 1996, the angry parents of murdered California girls sued Slayer, claiming their lyrics incited 3 boys to kill the girl. A judge later ruled against the parents, which they always do. Okay, they've gone after Priest, they've gone after Kiss, they've gone after Iron Maiden. Music's back in the day, I remember kids, who were out of touch, put on a tablecloth around their neck, went up to the roof, and jumped and thought they were Superman. It's not Superman's fault, dude, that your kid's stupid that did that. Just saying, bro. I mean, come on. When things happen like that and they tell me, well, oh, you know, you got to have a little sympathy. No, dude, I was a kid. I knew that my hand on the oven was going to get me burned. I knew fire would get me burned. I knew jumping from the roof was not something feasible. No, I'm going to die or I'm going to break my legs. Like, common sense has to step in. You know what I'm saying? So music's not going to make you kill anybody, and Superman didn't make you get up on a roof and tie a cloth to your neck and say, hey, I'm going to fly. And no, you're not. You know, so I saw that Slayer note, and it was like, it reminded me of all the other cases where they tried to go after a band or something because of their music or whatever.
Did we say Tipper Gore?
Yeah, basically. You're right. Also, on this date back in 1967, Jimi Hendrix called it quit as a supporting act for the Monkees. Okay? Today in 1967, he said, I'm kind of done. In 2000 on this date, Oasis appeared at London Wembley Stadium performing a show that was broadcasted live across the world on TV. I got to tell you, man, Oasis, they had the world by the you-know-what. Now,
they're breaking your heart every year that they don't make amends. And like I've said, man, look, you could stay at one hotel, I'll stay at another. You get this half of the stage, I get this half of the only time we see each other is when we're on stage together. That's it. Can't you guys just give us that?
Yeah, every day I appreciate more and more U2 and Oasis at the Oakland Coliseum in 1997. That's one of my top 10 concerts of all time. Is U2 and Oasis. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? The next day I saw U2 and Rage Against the Machine. And by the way, Myron, if you're still watching, did you catch Tom Morello with Edge on the YouTube channel, which is actually really cool. Morello and Edge talking guitar and stuff. It's actually pretty awesome because Morello obviously has a lot of respect for U2, and then they both toured together. And Morello mentioned it towards the end of their conversation when he was going out. The YouTube channel is really cool. The only thing I don't want is, what's that guy again, talking crap? That actor? Oh, McConaughey. Oh, I don't want you talking YouTube, bro. But I do enjoy that channel, and Morello was good. One more thing on the music side, and this is a really cool event today going on. I'm not exactly sure of the time because they didn't put the time on there when I was looking it up, but go to Verzuz TV. That's VERZUZ TV. It's on IG. Okay. Today, there's a face-off between DMX and Snoop Dogg. Huh? That's cool. Okay. So Verzuz TV on Instagram, VERZUZ TV. I don't know when it is, okay? Maybe it's going on right now. I don't know, but some tells me it's probably going to be later on in the afternoon. But anyway, just check it now because it might be on now.
If they're like rappers, or whatever time you find, it's going to be 2 or 3 hours later.
Yeah, well, especially with DMX. DMX is late to everything, okay? All right? So DMX and Snoop Dogg in a rap-off. That is going to be awesome. So you got your homework there. That you can do. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break because I know I've been talking forever here. We'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. If you want to get in, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. We'll take a break. Back with more right here on The Big O Show.
Buyer's Market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We ready to rock and roll. Love it. And again, the great Myron chimes in again on a super chat. Thank you, Myron. Myron says, my favorite classic rock band will always be The Doors. I saw Tom Morello live at Ultra, and he was amazing. He is amazing. He is one hell of a guitarist, dude.
I have to say that Los Angeles kicks are with me because all the times we've seen U2, I don't remember seeing anything near Oasis or Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, opening up for U2?
As an opening, no.
No, those are the best acts I've ever seen because I've seen Interpol open up for U2. I've seen, Interpol, Rage Against the Machine, Oasis. I'm trying to remember. I've been to so many U2 concerts, but usually they don't have great bands opening up. Not a lot of great ones. That was on the left coast, by the way. I saw U2 and Oasis at the Oakland Coliseum. The next day I drove down to LA to see them again, and it was Rage Against the Machine, which is like, Oakland Coliseum and then LA Coliseum. That's the other thing.
Those are opening bands that you would want to go see by themselves.
Lead acts, right?
Yeah.
Lead acts, right? Yeah. And think about it, 97 for Oasis. That's like their peak, man. That is the pinnacle for them. At that moment, that was an awesome, awesome concert. I was like, when I knew it was Oasis, I was like, are you kidding me? Hells to the yeah, I want to go to that concert. I mean, I want to go to a U2 concert anyway, but you throw that in there? That's nuts. I'm trying to remember any of the other bands that I saw open up for U2. I'm drawing a blank, actually. I remember Interpol. I saw them for, I think Interpol was 360, I want to say. Was Interpol 360?
Well, I saw them with you. We were in the club section, remember?
Was it Interpol?
I don't remember seeing Interpol. I would have remembered that. No. I remember getting to our seats, and about that time, David Bowie going off, and
I remember now.
you two entering the stadium.
Muse opened up for them too. Yes, you're right. Muse did open up for them. Man, I'm trying to remember which. Now I'm confusing the tours. That's my problem now, because I know I saw the Interpol concerts. I saw in Tampa Stadium and down here in Miami. But I'm not remembering exactly which were the tours, and I remember Muse also.
You only got, what, 20, 30 freaking YouTube
easy
floating around in your head trying
more
to
than
dissect.
That. More than that, dude. More than that, because I see them on every tour at least 2 times. And in the last couple of tours, I've seen them like 4 times in the tours. So I saw them 8 times for the last 2 tours alone, just that. So yeah, no, it's nuts. Anyway, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Big O, good morning to O and VSS teams. How is the fasting going, James, in the DR? Going fine, man. I'm just plugging along, James. The good thing about me fasting, James, is that I'm not with you in the DR, because then I'd be just chugging one Presidente after another, and that's not good for the fasting. It's not good. You can't fast with Presidente. And not only that, you get in trouble in the DR because they got the large Presidentes. They don't sell those here. He gets them there. He's the lucky dog over there getting those big ones. Guns N' Roses, they're rescheduling their tour dates, Bill. What's one of the dates that we were going to go to? The DR, baby.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out, and we figured they would probably be at a baseball stadium.
Hard Rock.
More than likely, right?
Hard Rock. It's Hard Rock in the DR. So we're going to the Hard Rock in the DR. If there's no COVID by whatever July of 2021 and we're good, I'm traveling to the DR to go see GNR. So I will be in your country, baby, and we'll get to hang out. All right? Big O, a segment to thank me. Very cool. Thank you. No, thank you, bro. I mean, that's the least I can do. Are you kidding me? Julius 305, if you gave me an incredible present, bro. Mike Schmidt is like my guy, man. Mike Schmidt, Dr. J, and Sugar Ray Leonard, I know it's not a fourth. No, and Marino. There, that's my Mount Rushmore. Obviously, right there. Those are my Mount Rushmores right there. Those 4 guys. That's my youth. That's my foundation right there. All right? Those 4 guys. Do anything. I saw Sugar Ray Leonard in Vegas fighting Leonard Lalonde live. Hell, I wore the shirt, didn't I? I remember a couple months back I have 2 of those shirts. What's it called? Dr. J. Obviously, I went to Philly and saw him. Actually, I saw Dr. J here in Miami, too. Before we got the heat, we had a game of the Sixers and the Nets at the James L. Knight Center. If those of you remember, I still have the game ticket and everything. And Chocolate Thunder was playing for the Nets, Daryl Dawkins, at that time. And Dr. J was on the Sixers. And so it was a way of the NBA bringing us a game to see if we would respond. Kind of like the Orioles-Yankees. Was it Orioles and Yankees?
I was at both of them.
Right.
Orioles-Yankees at Joe
JRS.
Robbie. Yep.
Right, at Joe Robbie. We had the Orioles and the Yankees. And, again, they were testing us to see if we would watch baseball and go to it. And then they gave us the Marlins, and then they gave us the Heat. Well, that game I was able to see Dr. J. I saw him in the Spectrum once, but I also saw him here. And that was actually really cool. Oh, I just bought you one of these 4 studios. How do I email it? What? How do I mail it? What? Bought you one of these for your studio. What's one of these? Just had a thought. Email.
I was gonna say the guy bought you a whole studio and he wants to send it.
He goes, I just bought you one of these. I guess he sent me a picture, but it doesn't translate, so he doesn't know. So I'm gonna tell him to send me the info on email, because that's, guys, if you're gonna send me, or ladies, if you're gonna send me pictures, videos, longer messages, links, all of that, send it to the email, because the text doesn't handle the links, it doesn't handle pictures, it just doesn't do it. So that's why I have the email, because that's another way that you guys can contact me. And
when we're in the studio, we have the email at the bottom, but obviously being on the road,
right,
we need to advertise our friends.
Right, of course, definitely. So I'll just send him one to send me the email, and then we'll get it done. RVA says, hell, Big O, the Kardashians turned Bruce Jenner into a woman. Well, this is how I've always said it, okay? No, this is my line, because you've got a little bit of my line there, RV. I've said this for many years now. Notice how men who get tied to the Kardashian, end up on crack. They either are one or they want one. One of the two. All right. 786-322-1105. Woody Johnson is done. So, I'm just saying, that's what those women drive you to. They drive you to end up on the other side with another, sex, or they, end up smoking it, like Odom. It's a Bob Ross action figure. Nice. All right. Send me the email, and we'll exchange on the email. All right. That's how we'll get it done out here. VSS West Pines. Remember, come on out here and check them out. 954-613-3367. You can order by phone. You can still have curbside pickup, right, guys? Curbside pickup still. Now, if you want to come in, remember, you got to wear your mask. We got to be responsible here, and you can have some fun. Remember, I always tell you, it's where Barefoot Mailman and Spencer's meet CBD. That's basically what it is. I mean, you've got so many goodies out here. You're going to love this place. And then, of course, CBD. I just bought some CBD for myself on Saturday. CBD is amazing for stress, for anxiety, for pain. It's great for your animals, too. If you got a dog that's a little too excited sometimes and you want to mellow them out. What was happening the other night? We got bombarded with the storm and the thunder and the lightning's going on. Dogs freak out. They've got the stuff here, put a couple drops in their tongues there, and boom, and it mellows them out. You know what I mean? So if you want to get that, you can do all of that, man, which is a beautiful thing. So come on out here. Sage McKinley says, I saw Primus open up for U2 in Toronto. That was cool. Zoo TV. Well, he didn't make Zoo TV. I saw the Zoo TV tour, and it was not Primus down here in Miami. That's for damn sure.
Or up in Lakeland, where the U.S. tour started that we went and saw up in Lakeland.
Yeah, but they had no opening act there.
Nope, not at all.
No. And I'm glad, actually. Pat in Asheville says Pixies opened up for them in Zoo. Wow. Again, not in Miami, not the Pixies. Okay? Which would have been cool. Sage says, I've seen Primus live many times. Or Super Boom Shack says, I saw Primus at Red Rocks, and that was cool. It was great to go to Red Rocks, but then to see Primus and Mastodon at Red Rocks, that was awesome. Because to see one of the great bass players of all time in his band, and then to see Mastodon, a band I knew nothing about. And when I was done, I was like, okay, I'm a fan of those guys. Those guys are awesome. Dr. Duncanstein. Lucky. But I have seen Prince twice. There you go. I love Prince. Saw him in the Orange Bowl, 1985. Little Purple Rain tour. Remember that. That was good. All right, let's see. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. So Chiefs Chris Jones has guaranteed 5+ Super Bowls now. He is pulling a LeBron James, okay? And here's where I would tell you, Chris, you need to slow your roll, my man. This is football, okay? And to pull off 5, think about it. The Patriots did it in the era of the salary cap, but they did 6 of them in a span of 20 years. Okay? And here's here's Chris Jones and his prediction. Fire it off there, Bill.
Oh, I probably would have thanked the fans for the support throughout the year, and then thank the organization for taking a chance on me. But most importantly, let the fans know, baby, this is only the beginning. Be prepared to have another parade and another parade and another parade, because we're going to make sure we bring not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5+ rings to Kansas City. It's been 50 years. The wait has been great, but the wait is over now, and it's time to create a dynasty. And I want them to fully know that Stone Cold Jones is here to stay. Sack Nation is here to stay, and we're going to make a movie of this.
Al, he was on 610 Sports Radio, and remember, he signed that 4-year, $85 million deal. And look, he's a hell of a player, okay? And there's no doubt Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league by far. It's not up for discussion whatsoever, okay? He's the top dog right now, and he deserves everything. Every accolade he gets, he deserves it. He is the ultimate mismatch right now at that position because he's athletic and has got one of the best arms in football. Accuracy like you've never seen, pretty much. Because that guy throws it at all angles, and it's just it's a beautiful thing to watch. But here's where you bite off more than you can chew, because football is so difficult, man. It's so difficult just to repeat and to get a second championship. We thought the Legion of Boom was set to win a couple of championships, and they made a terrible call and couldn't even get their second, and the window closed. Now they have rebuilt again, and maybe down the line they can win another one, but it won't be with the Legion of Boom. It'll be Russell Wilson and a whole group of other guys that weren't there for the first go-around, pretty much. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of turnover that you see in the NFL. That's why it's so hard to be as competitive and as dominant as Chris Jones expects his team to be. Again, it sounds great, and you're a prisoner of the moment right now. You're thumping on your chest right now because you're the king of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? And so right now Chris Jones feels like he's unstoppable because he's also got Pat Mahomes on the other side. I just would tell you to slow your roll, because this is football and it will humble you like nothing, okay? Listen, as Dolphin fans, we got humbled, all right? Because for 30 years with Shula, we had one of the most successful organizations, constantly winning, won a couple of championships, went to a few more, and you always felt good about that team. But then once it all fell apart and Shula left, they weren't able to recover. It's like the Heat. Things have gone really well with Pat Riley. You don't know what's coming next. Here, I love Andy Reid. I think all of us have tons of respect for Andy Reid, and we know he's one of the best coaches in the NFL, although there are people now that, did have to eat some crow with the whole Andy Reid thing, because I was one of those guys that would defend Andy Reid, and I remember people that would be slamming Andy Reid all the time. Oh, now he sucks. He's a choker, this and that, and, I wonder where those people are now, and they're still saying it, but it's nice to be, confident and all of that. I just know that, reality is a whole different ballgame right now when it comes to this team. Packers. The Packers are the only public-owned team in the NFL. So you don't find out about everybody else's business, but you get to find out about the Packers, and it kind of gives you a little glimpse of what's going on with other leagues. And I saw this story where the NFL is going to spend $75 million on testing. And one of the things that I would tell you about them spending $75 million in testing is, and I was going to say this before I saw the Packers story, is who cares? $75 million for the NFL is like $75 for somebody else. Okay? Not the kind of money that's going to kill you. You can come up with it and you'll survive. You can lose it, you'll survive. It's nothing. Okay? 75 still, you can enjoy some with it, but it's not the end of the world type money, right? $75 million is equally the same thing for the NFL. And I tell you this because the Packers' revenue this past season was $506.9 million. That's how much money. And remember, the cap's like 200. Okay? So $296 million from national revenue and $210.9 million from local revenue. By the way, up from $477 million the year before. Okay? So you made $29 million more this year than you did the year before. They print money there, bro. Okay? That's the league. So think about it. League-wide, if everybody got $296, that's $9.5 billion. So when the league says, oh, it's going to cost us $75 million for COVID testing, I'm like, that's a drop in the well, dude. $9.5 billion and only $75 million for testing? You can afford, like, the sacrifice, the NFL is putting forth all this money for a test. You're doing what you're supposed to do to try to protect your players. The players you normally don't give a crap about. $9.5 billion. That's national revenue. That's not local revenue, because 210.9, you would figure. Can you imagine how much the Cowboys made in local? If they're at 210, then Cowboys are at 500, 600, 700 million, probably. Again, we don't get to know because they're private entities. But the Cowboys have a bigger stadium, right? They have a much bigger fan base than Green Bay. It's not even close. So that they're going to sell way more jerseys than the Packers will. It's interesting. $75 million for testing, which, again, not a big deal. The other thing I saw was Russell Wilson. And this is the part that's kind of interesting and disturbing all at the same time for the NFL restart. Because we all know now, with COVID running rampant, people aren't able to be in the same, hospital room with a loved one that's sick. And because it's so contagious, if you have somebody in your house, they've got to be quarantined in a completely different part of the house. That's how, odd it is. Well, Ciara is having her second baby with Russell Wilson. And she's due in a few weeks. I think he said like 3 or 4 weeks she's due. So you're going to be playing football at that point. And the question is that once you're exposed to all these other guys and you're not in a bubble, unlike the NBA and the NHL and now Major League Soccer, that they're all smart and they're in a bubble right now, this time you're not in a bubble. So you're exposed to other guys that are exposed to the outside world, and you have no idea what they're bringing back to their facilities and giving to you, and you're hoping that it's not COVID. So if you are exposed to that, or even if you're not, the fact that you're around these guys, the thing is they're also telling him that he may not be able to be there for the birth of his child. And it's not like you can quarantine anticipating when she's going to have the baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't quarantine for 3-4 days and say, well, she'll have it on Thursday, so I'll go in on Sunday and quarantine, and I'll be ready for Thursday. No, you have no idea. She might be spitting out the kid right on Monday morning, and you have no idea when it's going to happen. And Russell was talking about how the last time they had their first kid, she almost broke his hand as hard as she was squeezing. And he said, I feel like she really needs me there. So I'm just saying, I don't know where the football is going to be a month from now when she's about to have a kid, but they may be losing Russell Wilson for a short time there, so he can go. I don't know. Again, I got to look it up to see if it's exactly when the season starts. But I'll tell you this. I can't blame a man for wanting to be there for the birth of his child and be there for his wife. That is way more important than anything else that's going on in the football world. Ciara, by the way, is due to give birth to Russ's second child in just a few weeks. But Wilson says he still hasn't been given the okay to be in the room with her for the birth, which If you're going to be around these guys, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't put your wife at risk. You can't put your child at risk. That's sad, man. That's how twisted this whole COVID thing is. That a guy like that has to worry about, oh, man, if I get it in the locker room and I go back and give it to my wife or my unborn child, or give it to my child in birth, are you kidding me? You can't hold your child. You can't get close to your child. Because you don't want an infant getting COVID, dude. Are you kidding? No. I read that story, and these are the moments where, us guys, we can't necessarily be Neanderthals and think that, oh, there's no big deal. You can miss this, and you got to be there for your team. Your number one team is Ciara and those kids. That's your number one team. Just kind of story that's where priorities have got to step in. Dougie Fresh says, "Oh, you need to put your pinky finger to your mouth when you say $1 billion." Yes. Tanny Kill, Super Tanny Kill is tough and will win playoff games. Okay, well, when he's winning playoff games and carrying them, and wake me up. Okay, when he's doing it without Derrick Henry rushing for a ton and he can win with 70 yards, we'll do it all right. I saw Real Big Fish open up for Primus in South Florida in the 90s. That's pretty cool. Real Big Fish is a fun band. I just saw them over at Revolution Live. Not just saw them, but whatever. It was 6, 7, 8 months ago or whatever. It was Real Big Fish, and what was the other band that was with them? It was 2 bands. Now I'm remembering that were there. Now I forgot the other one, but there were 2 good bands. They were, because that's all ska, and I like a little ska. No problem with that. Some more bands opening up for you too: the Ramones, Pearl Jam, and Kanye West. Ramones and Pearl Jam. Now that's pretty good. Public Enemy opened up for you too. Wow. Who do you prefer, Mahomes or Dak? I would go Mahomes. Oh, Mahomes every day of the week and twice on Sundays, bro. You have to take Mahomes over everybody. Period. Right now, it's his world and we're living in it. Okay? Right now, he is the dog in the NFL. He's the guy, bro. Trubisky is deer in headlights. Yes, he is. Somebody said Trubisky or Tannehill. Oh, I'll take Tannehill over Trubisky. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Now, neither one's going to win me anything big. So, we're splitting hairs at that point. You're taking Tannehill over Trubisky because he's better suited to get you to 9 games or 10. That's all. But it's not because either guy is all of a sudden going to go in the playoffs and carry your ass in the playoffs. I just don't see that. I saw the Ramones and the Edge now Revolution Live. Oh, Ramones at the Edge now Revolution Live. Okay, I see what you're saying. Ramones, man, miss those guys. That is one of the great bands of all time, and they're just a punk band, and it just kind of like tells you, a punk band that became that big. Sex Pistols and them, they were the Ramones a little more than them, but for them to cross over to mainstream, right? Because Rock and Roll High School and all that stuff, there are just songs that the Ramones had that ended up becoming staples. And not a lot of those punk bands were able to do that. And the Sex Pistols obviously had a little bit of that, and the Ramones had a lot of that, which obviously makes them, pretty special. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Did you see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's son? Okay, remember we talked about Kareem's son the other day or a couple weeks back or a couple months back that he attacked his neighbor, right? Well, I got more of the details now on this. He's being sued by his victim. All right. Adam Abdul-Jabbar, all right. Counsel Sean Hawley tells TMZ that Mr. Windsor has given several different and inconsistent stories about what happened that night to various television outlets. What he has conveniently failed to mention in each of them is that he provoked the incident by physically attacking Adam first. So apparently, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's son is now being sued after he was accused of stabbing a neighbor in June, with the alleged victim now claiming he suffered skull fractures and brain bleed in the attack. June 9th, cops were sent to San Clemente, California, arrested 28-year-old Adam Abdul-Jabbar. He attacked a neighbor during an argument. The 60-year-old Raymond Windsor, 60 years old, claims in the lawsuit obtained by TMZ the whole incident went down after he urged Abdul-Jabbar to help his elderly grandmother with chores. Windsor says Abdul-Jabbar exploded on him, claiming in the lawsuit Abdul-Jabbar told him, "Shut the F up. I'm going to stick this knife through your teeth and cut your throat out." Windsor says Abdul-Jabbar then stabbed him 7 times in the head, neck, back, and side, causing major damage. Windsor says he suffered a skull fracture, subdural hematoma, and was forced to stay in the hospital for 3 days after the altercation. Windsor is suing Abdul-Jabbar, claiming he suffered from the shock, anxiety, worry, sleeplessness, depression, and so much more. Hey, you can use some CBD. We got it here. He wants Abdul-Jabbar to pay for his medical expenses plus additional damages. I mean, think about this, dude. You know the kind of rage you got to have to stab a 60-year-old man 7 times in the head, neck, back, and side? Yeah, why is he out of jail? Because he's Kareem's son. You got the lawyer, you got the money. You do that, man. You and I, we'd still be in jail. Okay? First of all, we wouldn't be stabbing a 60-year-old man. But, I'm just wondering, where'd the knife come from? It's like,
It's disturbing that he gets mad because somebody's saying to
help your grandmother.
Help your grandmother. What? Blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm going to stab you.
Many times.
Man. You know what?
I'm going to stab you many times.
I wonder if him and Kanye hang out together.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you went a little deep there on that one, but yeah, it's just, wow. Man. That's a twisted ass. You got to have a lot of rage, dude. A lot of rage. I mean, I've been pissed off, but not to stab somebody 7 times. Even if I've worked in radio where they steal your money. Not even that. You stab them 7 times. We have all been in quarantine for a while, okay? Some of us haven't gotten a haircut, right? I haven't, right? Most of us, right? Or some of us. Unless you got like a family member that's a barber, because I've been wanting, I want to cut my hair, but I keep thinking if I go to the barber, that guy or that woman, well, especially my guy, which is up in Lauderdale, he's cutting everybody else's hair. So I just don't know. You know what I mean? And I have 5 stents in my heart. Rick Fox was busted out on the street in quarantine. Poor guy, bro. Because now, they're doing memes of him because it doesn't look good. I got to tell you, Rick Fox needs the haircut in a bad way. Now, he probably should be wearing hats. That's all I'm saying. Have you seen Rick Fox? There you go. Rick Fox. Yeah, it's like, yeah. No, but your hair, at least, I know your hair is getting wild, but at least there's some kind of order there. There's no order here for Rick Fox.
The curls just are in control.
Yeah, this is like.
He just needs to wet his hair and let the curls take over. Let him grab it,
He looks like he stuck his finger in an electric socket.
No,
is what he looks like.
What happened to him is he was in his convertible car, and it just got like me. When I have my long hair and people have the window down, it's like
Calabasas.
What are you trying to do to me, man?
Cruising the streets of Calabasas, and he got out. And then they catch a picture of you. That's like the worst part. But give the man a break there, man. Maybe he doesn't want, the smart thing right now is not to go to the barber. And nothing against all you barbers out there, okay? My man Orlando Castrillo is my barber. I love the guy. He does a great job. But, at the moment, I got 5 stents in fact, I saw Orlando a month ago at Craig's Inn buying a car. And for those of you that keep saying it doesn't happen. But anyway, so I saw him over there, and he goes, hey, when you coming by the shop? I go, bro, I don't know when I'm coming by the shop, man. I'm not comfortable right now. And he goes, no, I get it. Because he knows I need the haircut already. Listen, I've left my hair long, but, right now I'm kind of in a thing where I wanted to keep it short, but I may have no choice now. I just can't go. Can't go. The Ramones were basically the Beach Boys on steroids. Love both. Raging Dolphin Maniac, my man. The Beach Boys music is way more complicated than the Ramones. I mean, it's not even close, my brother. There is a lot more to putting the music together of the Ramones. You need to watch. What's the name of that? The Wrecking Crew. Okay? Please watch Raging Dolphin Maniac. Please watch the Wrecking Crew documentary. Okay? When you're done watching that Wrecking Crew documentary and you go through the Beach Boys part with all the studio musicians, when you're done, tell me that it's the same. I could say, and it's still not the same, I would say Ramones is music without steroids compared to the Beach Boys. The musicianship on the Beach Boys side of it's not even close to
the harmonies, man.
It's not. It's not even close. It's not even the music, the lyrics, the harmonies. Not even close. Raging Dolphin Maniac. It's not. I would disagree with you on that one. I can. Those two cannot be compared. They're both great in their own right. Both Hall of Famers and all. I don't take anything away from the Ramones. I love the Ramones and I love the Beach Boys, but they couldn't be more polar opposite. You know what I mean? And when we talk about musicianship, forget about it, dude. It's not even close. Not even close. This pandemic helped me learn to cut my own hair. Wow. Damn. Myron says I always cut my own hair. Wow. I can't do that. I would screw it all up. My favorite Bowie era was Scary Monsters. Oh, I love that album, dude. Fashion. What's it called? Fashion's one of my favorite Bowie songs. Ashes to Ashes, all of that. Yes, I love that album. So good. Let's see. And I love that song, Scary Monsters. You're right. Scary Monsters is a great song. Yeah. Yeah, Super Boom Check says Beach Boys' Animal Sounds is epic. Yeah, Animal Sounds is one of the greatest albums of all time. Okay? In fact, when you hear other people talk about, you got to watch The Wrecking Crew. I told you guys about this documentary, a couple months ago, and
I want to say we were actually right here.
Did you watch it finally?
Yes, I did.
It's freaking amazing, isn't it? It's just
fact
sick.
There's several artists that were part of that ended up becoming solos.
Yes,
that majors.
Yeah. Well, Glenn Campbell was in there, and so was Leon Russell. Leon Russell and Glenn Campbell were part of the Wrecking Crew. That's some scary stuff, man.
It's I have to say this. It's a shame because the bands got credit for this incredible song, and it was the studio guys, the Wrecking Crew,
right,
that did it. That made the songs.
Right.
Sorry.
I got you. All right. Anyway, so we got to wrap it up here on the show at VSS West Pines. We thank all of you for tuning in as always. We thank, of course, the super chatters out there, Robert Triana, SM Fins, Myron, Ray Grulong. Thank you as always for chiming in on the super chat.
Wow. Recent research has shown
super chat
makes no sense.
Yeah, you're getting focused on all the wrong sort of details here. You need to forget about all the normal rules that apply in society.
Wasted no time. Super chat. I thought it was really, 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 really cool.
You should all be very proud of yourself.
We have no response.
Super chat. All right, there you go. Myron goes, if you find the book, can you put it in the home studio? You remember the size of that book? All right, it's in my media room, But the media room is like loaded because we have gutted the garage and we gutted my daughter's toy room. She's 20. So the toy room ended up becoming like a storage over the years. So we're like, hey, we gotta while we're quarantining and while we got all this, hey, we gotta clean out all this stuff and start throwing stuff away. So I know when we get to the media room, I will get the book. I'll put it up on camera, Myron, okay? But I don't think there's any space back there for that book. Because it was this thick, if I remember correctly, and it was about this big. It's a big-ass book. Remember, it's 1,001 movies to watch before you die, Myron. It was a thick-ass book, all right? So and it's a big book. I doubt it has space back there. That I can tell you. I will find it. I promise you, because I have it. I know I have it down in the media room. The problem is there's a bunch of stuff probably on top of it for me to get to it. So when we get to it over the next couple of weeks, then eventually I'll run into it. I will look for it. I promise you. I know I have it. I know I have it because the last time I read it was like about 2 years ago. I remember I had it in my hand and I was checking it out. So I have touched the book, so I know where it's at. It's just I got to run into it, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's wrap it up here, Myron. And again, thank you for another super chat. You are just absolutely amazing, brother. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, Myron. You are a absolute stud. You all be safe out there. Thank you for tuning in. As always, make sure you visit my boys out here at vsswestpines.com, 12397 Pembroke Road. You can order by phone, 954-613-3367. They've got curbside pickup, too. If you don't want to come in, remember, you need a water pipe here. You need e-juice. You need the e-cigs. They've got the disposable ones. They got the multi-packs. They've got CBD here in all shapes and forms, from tinctures to flour to edibles, topicals and salve for pain, transdermal patches. They've got it all for you, man. 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on out here, and as always, tell them that Big O sent you. You get 20% off, baby. All right, so tell them we'll see you guys tomorrow at Toyota of Hollywood. We'll be out there starting at 11 a.m. Y'all be good.
Take it easy. Have a good night. Be safe.